This is the resistance and I'm not giving in. Breaking the paradigm everybody's living in. No more spinning on a ball, that shit was just pretend. And I'm not gonna say it is just for the sake of fitting in. The truth is different to people because illusions vary. The truth is hidden, the truth is missing, the truth is buried. The truth is beautiful, truth is ugly, the truth is scary. That's why telling the truth is revolutionary. The truth is something that these people just will not provide. That's why they gotta keep sheeple completely occupied. Now our food and our fruits and veggies are modified. And that's what happens when common sense is just not applied. They govern your minds, that's why it's called governmental. Everything that comes out of their mouth is utter dribble. And we just sit here every day, it's always uneventful. That's why I'm out here causing ruckus, man, that's what I'm into. I'm defiant, remaining non-compliant. No, I'm not staying quiet, never remaining silent. Doing everything that I can just to create a riot. I want the truth and I'll do whatever it takes to find it. You have to be asleep to have the American dream. There's bloodlines and they seem to think there's a supreme. Democrats and Republicans are sharing the scene. It's no different than the WWE. Everybody's an actor and the world is a stage. We're just some slaves never knowing the world is a cage. They got us worrying about chasing fortune and fame. They train us to ignore these things and it's more than just strange. But I won't do this anymore, man, I'm taking control. If you don't do it for yourself, no one's saving your soul. It's better that you make it whole than they'll make it a hole. Ripping it, tearing it, twisting and taking it slow. I've never been the type of guy that would tolerate ghouls. They try to take us and brainwash us in all of their schools. They're lying to us every day while we're watching the news. But I refuse to lose and no, I won't follow the rules. Forever I'm defiant, remaining non-compliant. No, I'm not staying quiet, never remaining silent. Doing everything that I can just to create a riot. I want the truth and I'll do whatever it takes to find it.
Welcome to the ripple effect. OGs listen while they finish this set. Start band, get that pitbull in check. Everything got dribbled and wet. People died a miserable death in the mud like a fish in the net. History ain't even correct. Free your mind from the prison they set. We're trying to get your vision correct. It's a Jack Wager free zone. This is a Jack Wager free zone. Boom. Boom. Bricks melt past 1080 degrees Celsius. On the show with the guy they call Steve. And it's cool like the wind and the breeze. Earth melted and all the mud freeze. Bake you up like a kick in the knees. Live streams, we hitting the trees. God bless you like when we sneeze. What's the difference between a pyramid and a conical roof? Just listen to Jen if you want to know truth. Stick around and she'll show you some proof. And everything you learn, just shout from the roof. My name is Ray, and it's me in the booth. It's a Jack Wager free zone. This is a Jack Wager free zone. Boom. Boom. It's another component that was on the grid system. Big brother ain't so big now, more like my kid's sister. If you ever want to show a picture, Jen, I'll sit with you. Don't make her taser happy, that taser's happy. I used to spend the days cutting class, puffing haze in my brains and grass. free zone. Boom.
$33 in the chat. Really? Is that a sign? I don't know.
Illuminati confirmed.
I know, right? I got Ray with me here today, guys. Whoops, this way. I really love that song, Ray. I got to tell you, every time I listen to it, it just gets better and better and better.
I like the beat. I was listening to it really late at night. That the person who makes that Anabolic Beats, he has his YouTube channel and he has really awesome beats, and all of his beats are really awesome, and he lets me use them. He doesn't care. I talk to him. He doesn't really care. Yeah,
we have to send me the link to his channel so I could check out some of his stuff. I've been thinking about some new songs. I have some lyrics.
He's good.
Right now.
He's good.
Yeah. So, what's going on with you? What's new, Ray?
Just
Subway
chilling.
Ray.
I mean, every day is a civil rights audit. That's what it is. Constantly, everywhere. That's what it turned into. You know, it's pretty much like a Nazi type of atmosphere where you need to like know laws and all kinds of stuff. Like you need to know the Civil Rights Act of 1964. You need to know the bill. You need to know the Bill of Rights, the Constitution, at least the first four.
And then you need to know about the discrimination laws, because basically this is what they're doing is they're discriminating against people because of, the thing.
In the HIPAA law, because and Melanie Moran showed me some new laws today that she found. She put them in my chat. She gave me the exact sections. I'm not sure about them yet. I'm gonna remember them. But
well, I don't know if you checked your email, but I did send you some civil rights stuff that you can get printed out and laminated and just put it on your whatever that thing's called and just carry it around with you if they have anything to say.
Yeah. I was asking Michelle how we would get it printed out, and we're gonna do it. We're figuring it out. We're gonna print.
Yeah, you just want to. What you want to do is download that file onto one of your little memory stick things or whatever, and then print it out, or you could take it to like I don't know, like Office Max or something, and maybe even somebody like that, and get them to laminate it for you. That would be cool.
Yep. So we're gonna do it.
So I want to start off the show with just saying thank you first off to Brian. Just played one of my videos from my first channel that I had, The True Seeker 69. I can't even believe he has that video. I'm assuming he got it from Vanessa VA, but it has to do with the Mandela effect. This is back when I was still doing videos in my car. I was kind of known for doing videos in my car back then. I was shocked to see it, that he just played it, but I was a little self-conscious when I saw he put that video up because I have a chipped tooth in the front, and it was before I had gotten the tooth fixed, and I just didn't even care at that time anyway. I was just like doing videos, but now I was looking at it, I was like, oh my God, my tooth's still chipped.
I'm missing a tooth in that probably the same spot, and I have like friggin', they gave me like a plastic, what is it called, the partial to like put here so it'll go, and I have it, and I just don't wear it because it messes up my voice when I'm trying to sing, or if I'm trying to rap, or I'm trying to do anything, talk on this thing. I talk with a lisp. Like, forget it. It ruins my accent. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not gonna walk around talking with a piece of plastic in my mouth, eating with plastic. It feels like a piece of plastic.
Yeah. Well, I wound up getting a veneer on my front tooth, but it's a temporary veneer. But I just, I get these temporary ones. It's a cheaper way than getting like the expensive veneers and stuff. And I only needed one anyway. So,
it sucks when that
also,
happens.
I want to thank Angela Baby Carson. I don't know if she's here or not yet, but she's been sending me some really cool stuff. And there's something that I want to show you guys if I can get it to work for me. Before we get into the audit stuff we're going to talk about with Ray.
Angela Boom Baby Carson. Boom
Yeah,
Baby.
that's right. Angela Boom Baby Carson. I like that. You have to get a shirt made up like that, Angela.
There it is.
That would be cool. All right. So she sent me a video. Now, you guys know I love mushrooms. I love doing mushrooms. About 7.5 to 8 grams gets me right where I need to be in mushroom land. And she sent me a really cool video about mushrooms. And it's not surprising at all, the video. I mean, I'm not surprised to see something like this taking place. But I'm going to get the video here. See if I can get it to work. If any of my stuff will do what it's supposed to do, that would be nice.
It looks nice and clear tonight. The screen.
That's good. That's something anyway. That's a good start, I guess.
I noticed that sometimes it ain't our fault. It's YouTube's fault, dude. The way they process it or something when you first go on.
And sometimes if you go back later and rewatch the video, it'll clear up and stuff. But I've had that happen numerous times. But let me share screen. I'm going to have to mute out because I don't want any echo. I want you guys to hear this perfectly.
Hey guys, it's me again. I'm in Hawaii, and normally we listen to plants, but a lot of you have been asking, what do mushrooms sound like? And I found this really cool piece. It's a tree in this bamboo forest, and there are all these amazing little mushrooms on it. In fact, I even have my plant wave sitting on a mushroom there. Which is nice. So let's check this out. Let's have a listen. We have one connected there, and we'll listen to these connected through the tree. Let's tune into this. This is right under that tree you were just listening to. Back by popular demand, we have more mushrooms to listen to using plant wave. To clarify, mushrooms are not plants. Mushrooms are their own type of being. Luckily for us, plant wave actually works with mushrooms as well. So I'm gonna connect here, and we're gonna listen. And you might notice this sounds a lot different from the one that we listened to in Hawaii, so let's check it out. wonder what happens if I connect this to a different mushroom. Maybe this one up here that's closer. Ooh, it's already making a little sound like. It's a little bit different, huh? What if I connect to this one? If I connect both to the same one.
Well, we gave it a shot, but yeah,
I know it's Skippy.
You know,
I'm sorry, but yeah, you get the idea.
see how it goes. But yeah, so I love it. I love everything about it. I love the whole idea, the whole concept. I love mushrooms and music. I love them both. They go together. You know what I mean? Why not make the mushroom?
I don't know what that thing costs, but I'm getting one of those. That's all I gotta say. Somebody wrote here, I think Shapu put in the chat that those things are like $200. I don't know. I'm getting one. That is the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life.
And the music sounded
yeah,
it sounded
like,
good, but I don't know. Is it a Mandela effect? I don't remember mushrooms making music.
It's picking up the vibrational frequency of the mushrooms and converting it into the music of the vibrational frequency. So that mechanism that he's using is capturing the frequency of the mushrooms and it's converting it into music. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is really cool. I grew mushrooms in a fish tank in my bedroom. And my parents are watching right now, and they weren't too happy about it. But they still look the other way, you know what I mean? I had cow shit in a fish tank.
Hold on. I gotta stop this.
There you have it.
All right, sorry about that. So you're growing mushrooms in a fish tank in your bedroom. How old were you when you did this?
I think I was probably like 16. I ordered them from High Times. They had like mushroom kits, High Times magazine.
That is like, so cool.
Yeah, because it's legal. You can grow mushrooms. You can order mushroom kits online.
I've looked at those. I've looked at those online. We were thinking about doing that.
The best ones, the ones that work the best, the ones that are the most potent, are the ones that come with the spore syringe. There's two different ways you can do it. There's one with a scalpel, and there's one with a spore syringe. The scalpel ones are cheaper, and they grow way less. You don't get as much, and they're not potent. But there's all different ones. There's like all the different types of mushrooms. They begin with psilocybe at the beginning. The one that I grew was called psilocybe cubensis. I don't think it's really a strong one because it wasn't that strong. But you can order like some really exotic ones that come in the syringes, the spore syringes. The other ones, I had to grow this shit in a petri dish. It's called maltagar. It's like this brown. It's like this brown stuff. You got to like boil it in a pressure cooker, and it like makes it like a gel. And then I had to take the spores, and I had to take like 10 petri dishes and fill this like stuff. It turned into gel. It was hot, and then it turned into gel. It was it was like liquid, and then it turned into a gel. I had to take and take the spores. They're like black, and you had to light everything on fire to keep everything from getting contaminated and shit. And then I had to take it and to make an S like on each one, an S. I had to cut an S into the gel with the spores. I'm telling you, this is what I did. And then all of a sudden, it grew a bunch of fungus, like this, like white stuff, mold, right? And it said in the thing step by step what to do. And it was like, okay, when the mold gets really, really thick, cut a square out and put it in the cow shit we gave you in a fish tank, and I covered it with like so dust wouldn't get in.
Right.
And it just sat there for like, I don't know. It wasn't even that long. It was like not even a month or something. It maybe 2 months, a couple months, and the shit just sprouted up. And then when I picked them, like 3 days later, they sprouted up again.
Really?
And I picked them. Yeah, they grow like 3 or 4 times.
So did you do them?
Yeah, I took them. They were all right, but they weren't like really strong. But I was surprised that you could order like and do all that just from the mail, like back then.
Yeah.
You know.
So how did you do them? Did you just eat them? Just dried them out and ate them, or did you eat them after you picked them? Because you got to dry them out, don't you?
Yeah.
Clean them off,
Yeah. Oh yeah,
out.
yeah. I tried them out. I tried them out a little bit. I think I just ate a few too. I think I just did. I don't know. They didn't really work, but normally when I take shrooms, I just take a whole eighth all at once. That's what my friend taught me how to do. He's like, dude, I used to just take little pieces at a time, like, and then you have like peaks and valleys, what they call peaks and valleys, like, you know, ups and downs. But if you take a whole eighth all at once, it's like boom, baby. You know what I mean? And then you're like, oh shit, everything starts moving all around you and dripping, and like you're just like, whoa.
You feel drippy.
Yeah, they used to be this guy at the store down the street. They called him the sub Nazi because he was like the guy from Seinfeld, the soup Nazi. But he was like, but he worked like overnight at store 24, and like everyone used to go there like, you know, like wrecked to get subs because it was the only place open like late night. So he would like flip out on us, and he was like this little dude. And one day we went in there and we were on shrooms, and he flipped out on us, and we all just started laughing in his face in the middle of the store, and we couldn't hold it together. And then we like, you know what I mean? Like we ran outside. I remember that shit. We were laughing so fucking hard. And then I remember like my stomach got all messed up that night. And then the next day, usually my stomach hurts the next day afterwards because I'm like laughing so hard the whole night before, you know?
Well, this last time I did mushrooms, which was New Year's or Christmas. It was Christmas. Yeah, that's what we did Christmas night. Instead of we don't celebrate Christmas. We just did mushrooms that night. And my husband did 9 grams. Well, we both did 9 grams. 9 was too much for me. The mushroom was on me a little too hard that night, but for him, it was just right. It was just enough for him. And see, the last time before this, I wound up in my hallway for 2.5 hours on the floor. And it was the best little vacation I've ever taken in my life. But this time he was in the hallway on the floor.
Yeah.
And it was the best time he had. I mean, I had a good time, but it was a little more intense than I needed it to be, especially like on the back side of things, coming down off of it. And then I can't sleep at all. So it's like, once you're down off of it, I can't go to sleep because my brain's just still remembering everything and all this stuff that I just saw. And everything.
You feel good the next day, the next day you feel good because you feel like you went on a vacation and you feel refreshed, like all your thoughts got organized. You figured out all your problems. It's weird. You figure things out. You think about things when you're on shrooms. You know, you get into deep thought sometimes.
I really enjoyed my mushroom trip. The first one that I went on where I really took off and went in the mushroom world and became a mushroom myself. It was the best time ever. And I felt, I don't know, like it just shroomy. That's the only way you can describe it is you feel really shroomy and drippy and melty and stuff. And then it was just like, no matter what I was seeing with my eyes open or my eyes closed, it didn't matter. I was just seeing it like I could close my eyes and still see the same stuff with my eyes open.
Yeah. One time I got these ones that were making me hear things. I was seeing things, and then
it messes with your audio in your ears. It'll intensify things that you're hearing. You'll hear things that you like. I thought I was hearing stuff too, and there wasn't nothing there.
Yeah, I heard. You know what it was? I could hear not Michelle, but my girlfriend at the time. The tone of her voice, like in my ear, like talking in my ear, but she wasn't. She was like across the room. That
happened to me and my husband. He was downstairs and I went up in the room because at one point we had to separate. It was like he's a little bigger than me, you know, I'm little. So we were not plateauing at the same time. So I kind of like took off into the bedroom, but I could hear him. And I knew he could hear me. I'm sitting there saying in my bedroom, I know you can fucking hear me. And he's like, would you be quiet? Why are you yelling? I'm like, I'm not yelling. I'm up here in the bedroom. So yeah, it like does something to your hearing. It's like you connect with the person who's on the mushrooms with you if you're doing it with somebody. And they can hear you. Well, your girlfriend probably wasn't, but you were?
No, she took my ex-girlfriend used to take them too. One time she was on the floor, like what you're talking about. She was laying on the floor, and she thought that the floor was moving. Like she thought it was she was laying like on red lava. She was like, I'm laying on red lava. I was like, all right, whatever. Let's go with it.
At one point, I could not feel the parameters of my body. It was so crazy. Like at one point, I remember lifting my head up off the floor and trying to focus and see something other than all this crazy psychedelic stuff. And I realized, okay, I'm still in the hallway, but I thought I was outside on the ground somewhere.
Do you ever see faces and shapes in like the grain of wood when you ever look? Because I like where I used to take them. I used to have a basement that was all wood paneling, like from like the 70s, and it was really crazy wood paneling, and it had all like
nutty pine stuff, and you could see the knots in it and everything, and
they look like eyes, and you know what I mean, and you can and they turn into faces.
I saw eyeballs on my trip, actual eyeballs looking at me. I mean, they weren't scary looking; they were just eyeballs, but there was a red background to these eyeballs, and they were just everywhere. And I'm like, okay, I wasn't scared of anything I saw. And then my husband put on, we like to watch some crazy stuff when we're tripping on mushrooms. He put on Kiss live in concert from the 70s, like one of their original concerts, you know, where they're acting all crazy on stage when they were young and stuff. And it cracked me up so bad looking at these guys with makeup on and what's that name? Gene Simmons with his tongue all out and everything. I was just, every time I saw it, like,
you know, that's probably why they did it. Like, because they were on that type of shit back then. You know what I mean?
I can tell you one thing. The song Black Hole Sun by Soundgarden, you have to watch that on mushrooms. That you could tell when you're on shrooms that most of this shit that they make is made for being on something to visually see it. Because if you don't watch it, if you watch it and you're not on shrooms, it's like, what the fuck did I just watch? You know?
Yeah, that's a good video.
Yes, Shapu. There were eyeballs everywhere, and they were looking at me, but I didn't care.
we were researching his research the other night. I was on a live stream with Austin, and I found myself researching his research. I didn't know at first, and then he was like, "This is Fruit Kiss's research, Shapu," and I'm like, "Oh yeah." I'm like, "Well, now we're researching his research," but it was pretty cool.
So I'm going to go share screen real quick again and show a couple of things that I didn't show on the last live stream that I wanted to get to. Make sure everybody can see this okay before I start talking. Also, I'd like to mention the flat earth, the ripple effect with the flat earth behind it here. I had Shapu redo it for me. We put in the sun and the moon, and also we took away the ice wall and put land around it because I ain't buying the whole ice wall bullshit anymore. Just saying. That's why you see land there, because I feel like that's more accurate. But yeah, so this is an etching. I forget where I found this, but we were talking about Polaris and the pole shift and the cyclical nature of this X Factor event that seems to have about a 300 to 360 year cycle. And so I found it interesting that actually in this etching, you see two suns. Mm-hmm. And if Polaris was switching its pole position for some reason or starting to come down from its position, you would see two suns in the sky.
Yeah, I mean, did we go to sleep and wake up in a movie of Star Wars? Are we on what? Are we on the planet Tatooine?
Yeah, right. With Skywalker, right?
Yeah, what is going on? Like,
there it is.
This is crazy.
So I forgot to show that. I really wanted to show it, and I missed it. But so here's the Montalbano 1585 map. 1500s, let's just say that. Here you can see the land masses around the outer ring of our plane. It looks like it's pretty much ice-free. There might be one of these continents here, maybe this one that's whitish that could be, say, iced over. I'm not sure, but for the most part, this is land masses and they have openings. And I'm
You
just
know what
not
else?
buying. Go ahead.
You know what I like about this map? That
What's
they
that?
show the Griffiths on the outer edges, like where you're talking about where there's no ice. They show all the mythical creatures all
Oh, yeah.
around it. So that's probably where they're at.
Yep, I agree. We showed this on the show with Steve and Ceiling Fan Man. This is the bridge in Germany. I think this might be where Cologne. This might be Cologne. Well, it's Cologne Cathedral in Germany, which I don't know if the town's name's Cologne, but I think this bridge used to be right near that cathedral, and it got bombed out and stuff. They got rid of this. I mean, who's
Yeah.
building a bridge with a front of a castle on it?
I know. Whoa. It almost looks like a whole castle sideways or something.
And
You
there's
know,
one
like-
on the other end too. Right down here, there's another one.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
a crazy bridge. I was on a bridge today. Like,
Here's the other end of it. Look, it's like a DNA strand.
and what year is this supposed to be?
Oh, this is early 1900s, late 1800s.
So they had bridges like this that looked like a roller coaster in the 1900s?
Yep.
All right.
This is all old world stuff that they had to get rid of, and they used wars to get rid of this kind of stuff. Germany had some next level stuff, guys. There's a reason why Germany has been demonized, I guess you might say, to a certain extent. There's a reason why they want us to see them a certain way through the historical narrative. So here's the new one. This is what I was just telling you. I had Shapu put the sun and the moon in here. It looks like he even added a little bit of stars in the firmament here, which is really cool. I like that. And
That
then,
is cool.
yeah, and you can see the land masses here with the openings. Oh, I'm really
really cool.
grateful. Shapu did a really good job on that. I'm going to see if I can get some shirts made up with this on it too.
You should. That's a good one.
And then there's this one. I showed it to Shapu. Didn't get a chance to show it on the show though. So these are mermaids, clearly, and they happen to just have tech on top of their heads. Thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
And I do know this Montalbano map shows mermaids in it as well, and mermen, mostly mermen.
They probably exist somewhere. I mean, where would someone just think of that?
Right.
Let's put a fish. Let's just draw a fish tail on a human being and call it a mermaid. Like, yeah, okay, good idea.
I don't know where the other picture is to this one. Okay, so I've talked about sword technology and that swords are not what they're telling us they are. And here, I'm not sure if this is supposed to be the angel Gabriel or Michael or something, but he's got a flaming sword and he's stepping on the snake. Just an example of, sword technology.
Whoever they told us it is, it's not who they're gonna. It's probably not the truth. It's.
Yeah, I had another picture to go with this one. I'm not sure why it's not.
You see the seashell? The seashell behind his head?
This is just like the Nagas that the Vedics, the India culture has around them, except this is missing the snake heads around it.
All right, yeah.
And it also, they say, represents Venus or Lucifer as well, the shell for like Shell Station.
I see that everywhere I go on all the buildings. That's why I noticed it. It's everywhere.
Yeah. But if you put snake heads on here, this would just be just like what you see with Krishna and stuff and Shiva with the snakes behind them. So let me go to the next picture here. Gosh, I thought I had the other one lined up. I guess not. All right. Well, I'll just show you guys this video real quick. This was in line at Walmart on Saturday.
This is you?
No, this is what was in front of me. I'm videoing it. Yeah, so she's pretty scared. That's a shame. She's living in fear. She's not afraid of her cell phone, though. She's more than happy to stick that thing up to her head and microwave herself. But, can't have anything on the hands and near the nasal passages, I guess. All right, hold on a second. I got to find this other picture. Let me see.
Oh, what's that?
This is something that Ceiling Fan Man sent me from his Bible that he has.
Wow.
Oh, gosh. This is the bridge today. Wow. Yeah. So Shapu just sent me a picture of the bridge that we just looked at, the DNA looking bridge of what it looked like today. Now, I had pictures. I don't know where they're at now, but I had pictures of this bridge when it was bombed, and you could see it all laying in the water, all muffed up and stuff. But
So-
this is what we get now.
So it was bombed during when? World War II?
World War II, I believe. It could have been World War I, but I believe it was World War II.
I always get them mixed up too. World War One and I can't tell
But
the
look,
difference anymore.
so this is their version of what's there now. Now, clearly, there's no fancy castle or nothing. They kind of redid the DNA look to it, I guess, in remembrance maybe of that bridge, but clearly it's nothing like it was before. They can't even build nothing like that. You know,
I know they tried to redo it, but it looks like shit.
It's ridiculous. It's nothing. It's bullshit. Just complete and utter bullshit.
They should be able to do it even better, faster, in less time, and more efficiently now.
Oh, okay. Here it is. Thank goodness, Shapu. You had me click on your stuff. So there's that sword there. I circled it, and then I had another picture that I thought I sent him with the sword. Oh, maybe I don't have it. Shapu sent me this too. This is a crazy building. I don't know where this is, but geez.
It looks like a computer chip. It looks like a
Exactly.
computer. Yep.
Yeah.
And a stopwatch, and it's in a stopwatch type shape around the
And
edges.
look at how perfectly lined out it is. And look at these buildings here that come all the way around, wrap around, and go down. This is like a wall of buildings that are all interconnected all the way around here. Do you see this, guys?
No, but you shouldn't be able to look at this picture and say we're not living on a computer board. Look at that. That's what we live on. That's what it looks like.
And without us, I don't think the computer board works very well. They need our energy.
Yeah, we must be part of it somehow.
Let me see here. I'm going to find this picture real quick and send it to myself. I hate when I'm trying to compare something and I can't find the picture I'm comparing it to. Oh, here it is. Okay, I'm going to send it. All right, so you saw this guy here. Keep this guy in mind. Let me refresh this real quick because I found him again in an etching with his flaming sword.
The same
Just again,
one?
yeah, it's the same guy with the same flaming sword, but he's about to slay somebody with his sword here. And you can see there, it's the same guy. He's got the same outfit on. And there's his flaming sword up there. Sword technology.
Oh, there used to be a guy. I used to watch a show with King Arthur when I was a little kid, a cartoon, and there was a guy with a flaming sword.
So here he doesn't have the hat on, but he has angel wings. So he's, smiting somebody. I don't know, but it's just interesting that it's like a flaming sword. And we talk about swords not being what they tell us. They had another purpose. And they lie to us about everything. And then the other picture was this one here. This ceiling fan man has this in his Bible as well. We're showing this type of lightning plasma discharge coming out of the sky here. It looks like the Tower of Babel there. And it's coming through and knocking some people out down here.
Wow. Yeah, that's what we were talking about last night, me and Austin. We were talking about this. We were talking about electrostatics and on a dielectric surface, between two dielectric surfaces or some shit. Yeah. Yep.
Now here's the color version of this picture. Oh no, wait a minute. Here it is right here. I think this is it. Yeah, this is the color version of it, and it's flipped too. It's not the same way as the other one. But again, you can see this crazy electricity coming out of the sky. And there seems to be two towers here, not just one, two towers of Babel. More than one for sure. So I like that there's more than one, because I've surmised many times that, there's more than one Tower of Babel, and some of these locations that we call volcanoes and stuff are actually melted buildings. And if you haven't seen my Vesuvius video where I prove that that's a building with the brick layers and the statue head that I found embedded into the side wall of Vesuvius, you should really watch that video if you haven't seen it yet. It's called No More Speculation. I Have Proof. Game changer.
Yeah, I remember that video. I remember.
Yeah. I gotta say, that day, everything worked perfectly for me. I was shocked because I was a little nervous going live without Steve. And I was kind of new to going live without Steve and doing it all myself. And I was always on my other live streams, things would glitch up, things wouldn't work. I'd have to just whatever. And that night I prayed and everything went perfect. The music didn't skip or stop or nothing. I didn't get kicked off at all. Everything just worked out perfectly. Thank goodness. That's one of my best live streams, I think.
I look at it like when I'm editing now, and when I'm doing that, I look at it almost like it's if you're driving a vehicle, right? And you have passengers, but it's like you have 600, 800 passengers with you, but you got to like, you know, direct everything a certain
But when
way
you're doing it
so
live,
it goes smooth.
I didn't want to screw up at all. I wanted this presentation to be perfect, and I wanted other people to be able to use that presentation and show other people. So I really tried to, you know, watch my language a little and be professional and stuff. Because I was like, for 2 days, I was just thinking in my head, how am I going to set this all up? How am I going to put it so everybody can see what I'm seeing and I can explain it? Because sometimes when I get it, I get it, but I don't know how to verbalize it to everybody else about how I'm getting it. So I have to like, you know, process it and figure out how I'm going to lay this whole thing out and stuff.
Yeah, that happens to me too. Like sometimes I need people to ask me the right questions to get my head sparked and talking in the right direction. Like, I'm like, you know, it's crazy.
Well, speaking about asking you the right question, I want you to tell us about how you got into the auditing. Okay, your first one, how you felt, what compelled you to do this, and the reactions you got from other people. And I want to know if you were nervous, how you felt, did you stumble, all this stuff.
2 things were happening at the same time. Stavely and Steffi, they were doing live streams like, we're not being nice anymore to these people. We're not, you know, like really, you know, and I seen them like going into places on their live streams and doing it. So, but also at the same time in Boston, there was riots, right? You know, they caused fake riots to put the numbers up and blah, 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 whatever. And then there was, and they smashed all the stores. They were looting, like downtown Boston. They broke everything. They stole everything. And there was 3 people that were live streaming it, right? Because I was looking for it because I seen it on the news and I was like, I want to see what's really going on. So I was looking for it on YouTube. And there's these 3 local channels, local guys from Boston that are civil rights auditors that I watched. And one of them his name's Mass Accountability. Mass, like Massachusetts, MASS Accountability.
That's good. I like that.
He's really good. You should check him out. He does audits on the cops. He goes hard. He had to move out of Mass. He moved to Florida now, and I think he's coming back though. But then also there's another dude called The Resistance, and he does ones in Boston too, but he does them in other places too. And then there was another one called Keeping Them Liable, and those 3 made me want to do it because I seen them doing it, and that's my kid screaming. But I seen them doing it, and then they I started talking to Mass Accountability. Like I reached out to him, you know, we talked back and forth, and he helps me out, man. He gives me good advice on, you know, if I ever need it. And he's almost like a lawyer. He's better than a lawyer. If you watch his videos and you see like some of the things he says to them and some of the things he comes up with, I would rather have him defending me in a criminal case in court as my lawyer than an actual attorney. He is really smart. And then so you know, they inspired me to do it, and then Stavely and them, I was watching them, and they wanted, you know, they made me want to do it, and then I just started doing it. I went into my first audit. I went into Stop and Shop.
Okay.
And I wasn't even planning on doing an audit. This was when it first started. Nobody was messing with nobody. Out of nowhere, they came up to me. I walked by I didn't have a mask on because I'm disabled. And I walked by the counter, and you know, I just went about my day, and I heard this lady from over in like the flower section, like say something over the loudspeaker as I walked by, like calling her manager. And I was like, oh shit, they're gonna say something to me. I could tell she's calling. I just could feel it. I was like, she's calling because she saw me walk by with no mask on, right? So, and like I was with Michelle and I was with the kids, and I was just with my son. I didn't even have my daughter yet. This was before my daughter was even born. And we had him in the baby carriage. You know, he was like one and a half. So we had a one and a half year old baby with us in a carriage. Me and Michelle, we were trying to do our food shop in a couple. And they come screaming at us. The girl's like, "You gotta have a mask on," like flipping out, like, and she had a mask on, like yelling. And I was just like, and I was trying to be nice to her, and I was like, "No, I'm disabled," you know. And I said it in a calm voice. Mm-hmm. And then she's like, "What do you mean?" You know, she didn't even ask me. She's like, "No, you gotta have it. Doesn't matter. You gotta wear a mask. Get out of the store. You gotta wear a mask." And she wouldn't even let me talk. So I pulled out my phone, and then she took off. She took off running, like, yeah, screaming for her manager across the store. She was yelling through people. There was people trying to shop, and she was like, "John, John, John," like yelling across the store. And then the guy came running, and I'm like, "John, you got to train her better." And
you got to train her. You need one of these.
Yeah. So the dude friggin' smacked the thing out of my hand, and you can see in the video, and that's how it ended. He like assaulted me. He hit you see him hit the camera. It's gone. Like, so it was like a 40-second video, and I uploaded it on Michelle's channel, and that's how my whole channel started. That's how Michelle L started that channel. I just wanted to upload the video so people could see it. I didn't have my own phone. I didn't have YouTube. I didn't know nothing about it, and I uploaded that video. That's the first video on there, and it's got like 1,000 views. I think it's one of the most. And people seen it the most because it's short. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so that's how it all started. They inspired me, and then I just did it. And then it's like everywhere I go, I realized, like, when you pull out the phone, you have a better chance of them leaving you alone or not saying nothing to you, because they don't want to be on. They don't want to be on camera, so a lot of people just back off. Lately, though, people have been trying to fight me the past few days.
So yeah, tell me about the most recent experience you had on this bus.
Which one? I was on today, but you're talking about what?
The last one you did, where it was a 2-parter, and it had Walgreens in the title.
Okay, yeah. So that I wasn't planning on taking the bus home. That Walgreens is like 2-3 stops away from my house. I walked there, but they gave me them fucking stupid paper bags. Like, you could see, like, on the live stream, it was live. It's not like I planned it. That's what happened. They gave me fucking paper bags. I was like, whoa, what happened to the plastic bags? You know what I mean? And then
that's unusual to have paper bags. That's weird.
Well, no, that's what they do around here. Listen, it's backwards, Jen, because, okay, they're saying that they're getting rid of plastic because it's bad. Plastic is bad for the environment and it pollutes, right? And they're promoting paper because it's recycled paper or some shit, right? But plastic can be melted down and recycled. It can be melted down to 2 molecules and recycled endlessly over and over again, right? But the paper, they have to kill trees no matter what. Yeah. Even if they make recycled paper, they have to kill more trees. So for them to say you have to have a paper bag because we're trying to save the environment is bullshit. It's because it's cheaper probably for them to pay for paper than plastic. Probably. It saves them money. That's probably why, you know? So anyway, they gave me paper and I was like, shit, I got to get on the bus, dude. It was breaking. Like, the paper was going to rip. I had like a jar of tomato sauce, like fucking glass tomato, you know, I had all kinds of shit. I was like, dude, I can't, it'll smash. You know, it always happens to me when I'm walking home. I'm like, fuck it. I was like, you know what? I'm getting on this bus, dude. I don't give a shit if this guy fucks with me or not. I'm getting on this fucking bus right now, right? So I just started live streaming like right away because I knew he was going to give me shit. And this guy was so stupid. Like, all right, I got on the bus and he was just like, I was like, I'm disabled. Because he gave me shit right away. He's like, first I paid real fast. You can see I put the dollar in. Because once you put the money in and you pay, they have to let you on. Like, you paid, dude. They can't give you a refund. They're not, you know what I mean? Yeah. So I put my money in right away. Like, boom. And he was like, I put the money in, like, boom, baby. You know what I mean? And then I was like, he was like, you can't come on. He's like, you need a mask. And I was like, no, man, I have a medical exemption. You know, don't worry about it.
Now, see, right there, he should have known to not say anything else because it would be discrimination against somebody who has a medical disability or whatever you're trying to say, even if it was religious. End of story.
So I don't. I explain it to them sometimes, you know, and sometimes I try, but this guy wasn't going to listen to me. So you know what I said to him? I said, all right, dude, you know what? I'll take a seat right here because it was like 5 degrees then. I was like, I'll take a seat right here. You call the cops then. All right. You call the cops. All right. I'll wait for the cops. Do whatever you got to do. Right. So he called the cops, but the cops didn't even come this time because the cops came last time, the real cops. This time it was the MBTA inspector that showed up, but they look like cops, but they're fake cops. They're like rent-a-cops, you know? And they're like the inspector of the bus. I don't know. They do something else, but they showed up anyway. But it took them a long time. And this is what happened. There was like 15 people on the bus, maybe 12 other people on the bus. And they were all trying to get to work, get home, wherever they're trying to get, right? It's like 5 degrees out, maybe 7 degrees that day. And like they're complaining about you have to wear a mask because you don't want to make anybody sick, right? But they're making everybody got off the bus. Everybody was standing outside for like 20 minutes. They were pissed at me.
It's so ridiculous, though, that this bus driver, all he had to do, but it's great with what you're doing, Ray, because I saw what happened to you in the bank as well. And that means that the next person who comes in who does have a disability or can't wear whatever requirements they're requiring, maybe they'll leave them alone. You know what I mean? So you're really trailblazing right now what you're doing. And I'm so proud of you. And I'm so proud to call you my friend and to have you on this show. And I just got to tell you, you know, more people need to follow. I even need to do it more. I really do. Yeah. But see, where I go around
you
here.
You are my friend. You are my friend, Jen.
Yes. Thank you. And where I go around here in the beginning of this thing, I was giving everybody hell in the beginning. So nobody messes with me to the places that I go around here. They've never said anything since like 7 months ago. But so I'm pretty good that way. But yeah, what you're doing and you're in a bigger city and stuff. And the inconsistencies with this whole thing is just ridiculous. The way they're acting with these, the government buildings, the banks and stuff, public transportation, things that they know people need to get on and get places. They're going to really crack down on it there. You know, it's just.
You know what's weird, though? This is just in Boston the other day, Sunday, the 16th. They passed a thing saying in Boston, all open spaces, you can't get in without a vaccine card now. Right? In Boston, in the city, not and in Salem, Mass, where the witches were, that they did it there, too. But I was in downtown today, and I walked through Macy's because I had to use the bathroom. And I go, in the Macy's, I can use. There's a bathroom in there, so it was freezing. I was like about to piss my pants, and I ran to the bathroom in Macy's, and it was locked when I got there, and I had to run all the way back and get the number from the lady, and come. It was nuts, and there was like a line and everything. But so
you got to get out of Boston.
Yeah, I got to get out of Boston.
Crazy there.
But they didn't say nothing to me, and there was no signs in Macy's. It was the Macy's in downtown Boston, like the main Macy's in downtown. Like you would think that they would like have the signs up there, right? If it's all open spaces. So it's kind of weird. They didn't say shit. I walked in.
It doesn't make sense. None of it makes sense. Lucifer's world does not make sense, and it sucks. And, what it's showing us is that we need to get out of the big cities. You know, there's a lot of people who love living in the cities and like to have things close by and things to do around them and stuff. And maybe they don't like living off, kind of like away from everybody. Like where I'm at, I'm in a very small town. It's Oxford, Alabama. And literally within 5 minutes, I'm on the other side of town. That's how small it is. Not much going on. There's probably just a handful of police in my little area here. Everybody knows everybody and stuff. And it's really laxed here with stuff. I mean, now there might be places like that I don't go to all the time, like say the tag place or the library, the public library, where they may enforce this mask thing. But if I walk into one of these places and they're like, well, you have to have this on, I'm going to tell them, sorry, I have a disability. I need to breathe fresh air, or it doesn't even have to go any further than that. If they say anything at that point, I'm like, are you discriminating? Are we going to have an issue here? I pull out my paper because they cannot discriminate against you because you have a disability or any kind of medical condition which requires you to have full airway access to your lungs.
They can't discriminate against your religion, your creed, your sex, your sexual preference, any of that shit. They can't discriminate against
and this whole thing with the cards, right? So they're never going to take this back. once they get places to go along with this, it's never going to be like, okay, well, you don't need that anymore. You can just come in whenever you want. They're never going to stop. They're just going to keep taking and taking and taking until they're going to want like blood samples going in or something. It's just insanity. It really is. And especially
what's going on? They're going to start going. They're probably going to start going to people's door to door, tagging you with a friggin' microchip. It sounds like when they put up something they put in your dog so your dog doesn't get lost. You know what I mean? Like they tested it on the dogs and now it's ready for us. You know?
Yeah, I don't think we have there's nothing close to what we had before as far as a country and our government and everything. It seems to be now, and even with the last one that was in, the Don and stuff, that these are just front men. That there's actually a whole nother regime that's running this place, okay? But they're not going to come out in force and show themselves because, they would just rather keep the American people lulled down, get them acclimated to doing what you're told and being judged on what you're doing and what you're told to do. And if you're listening, being a good little slave citizen. And welcome to Chimerica, pretty much.
They're in every single old picture. When you look at me and Austin were looking at pictures last night, like different pictures from different places, old ones, Mudflood pictures, and you see them posing, dude. Those are the ones looking at the camera, like with the hand hidden. There was like two of them in two different pictures with their hand hidden, looking up at the camera. Everybody else was facing the opposite direction, but somehow these two dudes knew that the camera was there to look up. You know what I mean? They
probably paid the guy to take the picture. They're all in on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's no accident that, fuck you, Fauci comes out on stage with his hand in his jacket and stuff. They're all in on this hidden agenda. And the hidden agenda is, the people who are ruling behind the scenes. If you think that Joe Biden's in charge of anything, you're lost in the sauce. You need to get that.
I honestly think there's like 2 or 3 Joe Bidens, Jen. I noticed there's one that has orangey looking hair. There's one that has like more of a white hair, and they don't look like the same when you look them in the face. They don't even look. I've seen them side by side.
Yeah, I don't think these are real people at all. I mean, remember the whole Hillary thing? 1 minute she's falling apart, the next minute she's just fine. It's like the 1 minute she's kind of looking on the thin side, but the next day she's heavy set again. It's just one
of the ladies that they show on the news from the the corporation. She's always on there, and she looks like a fucking hologram, dude. They show her, and she's supposed to be some big shot, and she's on there like running her mouth, and she's glitching out, and she looks like she's not even real. She looks flat, kinda, and she looks flat like the earth, and she's like she's glitching out and shit. And I'm all, and they never showed her name at first. I was like, when I first seen it, I was like, who is that? She's giving orders on the thing, you know what I mean? And I'm like, who is she? You know what I mean? Who's she supposed to be? She doesn't even look like a real human being. Like, what is she, broadcasting from an underground bunker? Like, what the fuck's going on now? It's nuts, the shit they show people. And then on the train, they got the AI voice coming through the roof. It sounds like an Alexa, and it's like, it's a federal law that you must wear a mask. And they all do it. And I noticed that people on the live streams, right, when I'm on there, like people from in the country, like other places, like it's not like that here, right? And I noticed, like, I show it on. There's a camera in the train, like in the Boston subway, like every two feet, there's a new camera, like boom, 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 boom. So I'm thinking, like, boom, baby, there's a camera like everywhere, like boom, baby. So then they were like, so I noticed that, and then I'm like, dude, this is what they're doing. They're watching it like an experiment, right? And they're sitting back, right? And somebody's watching those fucking cameras that's in charge, and then they announce shit on the news, and then they adjust accordingly every day. They're like, all right, let's see if we can get them to do this.
It's a huge production that's taking place. It's a huge production. You can even see how they manipulate their production and stuff. The ones of us who are awake, and we could, like, sometimes I'll be like, you can tell where a whole area of people are watching ABC or CNN just based on, what they're wearing and stuff. If they're fully masked and gloved and everything.
People today, there's like past 2 days, it's been rough. There's been people on the train that are like, stop recording me, like these big black dudes and shit. And I'm just like, what, dude? It's public. You know about the 4th Amendment? And they're like, stop recording me.
They don't care. They don't know about the Fourth Amendment. They don't know about any amendments. They don't even know their rights. They've already given them up. They don't care what their rights are. They just care about whatever they want at that particular time. And they didn't want you to film them. You know what I mean? They don't care if it's public. They just like the government. They don't care that they're discriminating or putting people through all this stuff. And the thing that gets me is that I was talking to a lady early on in this thing who had COPD. So she really shouldn't have been wearing a mask, but she was wearing it and she was taking it down to talk to me and then putting it back up and then taking it down like kind of like this. And I'm like, I don't even have one on. I'm like, just take it off. You shouldn't be wearing one. She's like, oh no. And I'm like,
there was a Jamaican guy, a Jamaican Rasta guy that I seen before on the subway, and he plays the guitar and he sings Bob Marley songs and he sounds really good.
mm-hmm.
And then I seen him before and he didn't have a mask on and he was jamming out, you know, and he played for me on the live stream. But the train was coming, so it sounded kind of shitty, but it sounded better in person. He has a good voice. But then I seen him yesterday and he was singing One Love, you know, One Love, you know, let's get together and feel all right. You know, he was singing it, right? And he was doing it. He was playing it. He sounded good. It was quiet. There was no train coming. But he had a mask on. He was singing it through the mask. And I was like, that sucks. This is why he was doing it, because he's homeless and he's making money, you know, whatever he can make playing the guitar, you know, getting tips in the train station. And he's afraid that they're going to come in and tell him he can't make his money and feed himself or whatever for the day, you know? So that's his hustle. Like he's good. He has a good voice. Some of these people that I see playing in the train station in Boston are really good, and I don't understand why they should be, you know, doing better, you know, because they're talented. Yeah. But
well, do you remember back when Hillary was running against Trump, and when she was on her campaign tour, and she was coughing all the time?
Yeah, and people were saying she's sick.
Like that was all predictive programming for where we're at now.
Yeah, they keep showing her in different clips coughing. I seen her coughing up smoke.
Nobody could understand back then. Why is she coughing all the time? Like she would go on a coughing fit and stuff, but it was just all it was predictive programming.
Michael Jackson wearing the mask. He used to wear. Yeah, he knew.
His mask has been Mandela affected too. If you look up Michael Jackson with his masks on, they're really strange looking. They don't look like the black silk mask that he used to wear. There's something really strange about them. I covered it a while ago.
Something weird is going on. Yeah, that's
so
the Mandela effect's crazy.
Let's get back to the bus. Okay, so this jackwagon's sitting there waiting for somebody to come along to tell him what to do with you, right? And the guy must have come to the door and just said, "Hey, look, just let him go. Take him to his next stop," right? Because clearly you were okay and you stayed on the bus, but all these other people had to get off.
Yeah, they didn't have to get off. They would just first they were like, "Come on, man, we're trying to get to work." And I was like, "I'm sorry, I got to stand up for my rights." And they were like, man, they were like, he was like, the bus was like, the bus driver's like, you're gonna, whatever, you know, get us, whatever. And he was like, I was like, no, man. You know, I laid everything down.
But the people wanted you to give up your rights so they could get to work. It's like, you're like, no, I'm standing up for my rights. And they're just
they wanted me to walk.
Man, we got to get to work. Like, fuck your rights. Are you kidding?
Said, get off. They said, get off the bus and walk. And I said, I looked back at them and I was like, I'm disabled. You all want me to get off and walk like that?
Yeah, I like that.
In the cold?
Like that, yeah.
And you're trying to, and I was like, you're trying to get me to.
The insane thing to me, though, is that people don't know their rights and they don't care about their own rights or your rights or anybody else. It's appalling. It really is. And
they're just so rude. They're just so rude. I don't understand it. But anyway, yeah, they don't understand. But if you try to explain it to them, they won't listen either. So, you know.
Well, there's a reset coming soon, and everybody's going to get their up and comings. Just saying.
So sometimes I yell, but Matt, my friend Mass Accountability told me don't yell. Don't raise your voice.
No, you were good. You did your voice very good. I listened to you. You kept calm. You were talking nice to them. You even apologized a couple of times, but you were like, you know, you stood your ground. And I really commend you for that. I shared that video on my
I yelled at them a few times on my first few videos because I was pissed. But I realized, yeah, he's right, because then what they do is they turn it into something completely different. They start saying that you're being loud and disruptive. You're disturbing the peace. You're trespassing. You know, they try to get you on all these stupid charges. And all those type of charges, trespassing, disturbing the peace, all that shit is just like stupid charges that when you go to court, you're going to beat them. It's probably not even going to stick. It's just something they charge you with to fuck with you that day, put you in whatever. If they lock you up, you have to pay your bail, get a lawyer. They fuck you around. You go to court for a few months. You pay all your court fees. And then fucking after that, they just let you go. You know what I mean? And they get a bunch of money from you, you know? You might have to do community service too. You know, that sucks too. That's free labor. That's slavery.
You know, I really, it's sad to say this, but I think a thinning of the herd might be a good thing at this point. You know what I mean? There's so many people out there who don't know. They don't care. They don't care that they don't even know. They're more than happy to raise their little ones up in this, Chimerica, brave new world that they're just diving into head first. They just can't wait to be a part of it. And their children are going to wind up enslaved in the same country that our forefathers fought to free us. So, you know what I mean? And there's not even forefathers anymore. Now it's just fathers.
I know. That doesn't even make sense. So where did forefathers come from then? Where did people start saying that from?
I don't know. They're changing. Everything's changing. Everything's just, it's just flipped over. It's like we're in Bizarro world or something. And the sad thing is, Ray, is that this could all go away tomorrow. And people are so acclimated and so traumatized to this whole situation. Are you still there? You look frozen.
Are we back?
Yeah. I mean, you look frozen. Did I glitch out for a second?
Yeah, you're glitching out right now. You look glitchy. Well, you're back. What happened?
I don't know. I just lost my train of thought too.
Yeah, it's all right. They're killing us.
Fuck them.
They're killing us. It's like when Forrest Gump is on and he's talking about Nam and he's like, "And I remember it happened in Vietnam," and the lady comes up and she pulls the thing and it's like, and then shortcuts out and he's like, and they can't understand him.
Oh yeah, yeah. I know what you're talking about.
That's what they do to us. That's what they do to us on YouTube.
I think you're right about that. Yeah. They love fucking with me. That's all I know. So now you get to your stop and you're getting off the bus and the guy had nothing to say to you. He was just like he didn't even apologize, anything.
No, but you know what's fucked up about it? Like they made him drive me anyway. Like, all right, so the inspector came. At first, I wasn't sure if it was a cop because he came flashing. He had lights on his roof, so I seen lights flashing and I'm like, oh, they're here. It took them like 45 minutes because I didn't realize it was even that long, but I tried to get Hugh to play it on his show, the whole thing. And I thought it was only going to be like 15 minutes long. And he was playing it and it was like going by and it was like 25 minutes. And I was like, shit, man, he's going to get pissed. And he did. He took it off. He was like, Ray, how long is this video? But but yeah, so either way, he still played it, though. He played most of it. But so the guy came, the inspector came, and I seen him, like, talking to the guy outside the window, like, up against his window.
Yeah, you videoed that. I seen it, yeah.
I was like, at first, he was there for a few minutes, and I wasn't recording him. And I was like, what is he doing? I thought he was just saying hi to him and he was going to come around and come up and help and talk to us. He was over there having a conversation with. So I went over and started recording it. I was like, let's see what's going on. And then when he saw me go up against the window and I was recording him, then he came on the bus. So I was like, all right. So he's like, oh, and you know what the fucked up thing is? At the beginning, I was joking around because right when you get on the bus, on the Boston bus, sometimes there's, not on every bus, but most of them, there's a round sticker that says Rosa Parks, and it has a picture of Rosa Parks sitting there right on the window when you're walking on right at the doorway, and I was, it always it's commemorate.
You know why? Because she stood her ground. Are you frozen or am I frozen? I don't know what just happened. Oh boy,
Baby, woo!
Did I get stuck or did you? Because you were stuck for a second on my end.
You look stuck, but then the thing buffered and then it came back for me.
So Rosa Parks was a pioneer in standing up for her rights, and she stood her ground. And then you got Ray from Boston here, who's a pioneer, trailblazer, and he's standing up his ground and his rights. And they can't even see the similarities here or nothing. People have been completely and utterly mind wiped and reprogrammed from 2 years ago.
I keep in mind that every one of these buses has closed circuit televisions and audio, right? So they took about 45 minutes to get there. So they were probably watching it on their cameras and listening to the whole thing. And they probably heard me say Rosa Parks joking around, because I was like, I'm gonna sit here like Rosa Parks. I'm not moving, right? So
epic.
So then they
I don't know what's going on. I don't know. Are you there, Ray?
what
Every time you say Rosa Parks, something happens. So I'm just saying they're fucking with us right now. All right, Ray. I don't even know what just happened. Am I still streaming? I got 61 people here. I just lost Ray. Oh, boy. All right, hold on. Here he comes. If you can still hear me, guys, he's coming back in.
It said something went wrong. They don't want us talking about Rosa Parks, right?
Every time you mention something about this and we're talking about our rights and standing up for stuff, and boom, baby, they're fucking trying to take us down.
We're hitting that means we're getting them. We're hitting the nail on the head.
Exactly. Here you go, YouTube. That's for you. Here's a little bit more, and here's some for your grandkids.
So anyways, when the guy got on the bus, he's like, all right, he's going to drive you, but you have to sit in the back of the bus. And
I'll be like, no, that's discrimination. I mean, first off, there's nobody else on the fucking bus, and he's probably got his mask and gloves on and a fucking barrier between him and you. What the fuck is his problem? You should have fucking coughed on his ass.
After all that, I waited 45 minutes I made all the people get off. I did my part. I waited for the guy. I could have just walked home. I could have just walked home.
Those fuckers deserve to get off the bus and have to walk and wait and be late for work. Fuck you. Fuck them people.
They just jumped on the next bus that was coming, but they were out there for a good 10 minutes in the cold. So you can get sick from the cold, so they're all risking that. And that sucks, so because of me, they don't want to breathe around me. Or whatever, they're risking getting sick in the cold.
What somebody should have did on that bus was, even if they did have their mask on and stuff, they should have stood up for you. Be like, hey, look, this is my brother here, and he's a fellow American, and if he's got a disability, he has every right to be on this bus just like I do with my mask.
You know
why? Because they're all fucking jackwagons.
There was this guy out in the crowd, because I call it a crowd now, because they were all standing out there. There was like 15 of them, and they were all yelling at me. And this one guy was like, listen, man. Right? And he was like, he had a mask on, and he was like, listen, man. He's like, what's your problem? And I'm like, I don't have a problem. And he's like, well, why can't you just wear a mask? And I'm like, because I'm disabled.
They don't even know they have rights. They just don't.
And he's like, and the bus driver was like, if you're disabled, why don't you just get delivery all the time, like what do you say, like Amazon Fresh, and not go out anywhere? And I'm like, because I'm disabled, you're telling me not to go out and leave my house? I'm like,
it's ridiculous. These people, this bus driver should be institutionalized. I'm sorry, he's nuts.
He's nuts. But then this other guy was yelling at me, and he was like, he said
They
something
look at
crazy.
us like we're crazy people because we're standing up for our rights, our God-given right to travel on public transportation. We're getting discrimination. We're getting, insults hurled at us and all this other stuff. Gang fucking stalked by people yelling at you, telling you to get off the bus. This is ridiculous.
And then there was this other time with this guy that was
You should sue them for that.
That got in my face. There was this one guy on the bus on a different time that he got in my face, and he was kind of big. He was like a construction worker, but he was old. He was an older guy, but he was bigger than me, and he was like, "You're what's wrong with America," like Hulk Hogan. He's like, Macho Man Randy Savage. Ooh, yeah.
You know what you should have did at that point? You should have held up a mirror. So when he looked down and said, "You're what's wrong with America," he saw himself. Because literally,
he had a mask on. He's like, "You're what's wrong with America."
And they don't see that they're the ones are what's wrong with America. Jesus killed the man of lawlessness with the breath of his mouth. And all these fucking jackwagons are walking around covering their fucking mouth. And they're coming down on Ray saying that he's what's wrong with America. No, he's what's right with America. Fuck that asshole.
And you know what else? A bus driver drove by, like going the opposite direction.
Your parents should be so proud of you. Mom, Dad, if you're watching, your son is amazing. I'm just saying.
So I was going this way, and the bus was stopped that I was on, and this other bus was going by the other direction, parallel on the opposite side of the street. And he stopped and was like talking to the bus driver, like they were talking window to window. And they were like, he was like, "What's going on?" And then I heard the guy in the other bus say, "Ask him if he's a Trump supporter. Ask him if he's QAnon."
See how brainwashed these fucking jackwagons are? I mean, are you kidding me? I mean,
yeah. I started laughing. I was like, "I don't even vote. What do you? That's how you win. You don't vote.
Yeah, exactly. First off, why would
anybody?
When people talk about how they steal elections, you can't steal an election. Elections are fake. How can you steal something that's fake?
And then listen, once you vote, that's when they get your name for jury duty. That's how they find out where you are for the census and all that bullshit. That it locates you. They get all your information. The feds get all your information when you vote. And you start getting jury duty every few years, dude.
Yeah, I've never had jury duty. I never voted. I don't do none of that crap, and I don't comply with the census crap neither. They come around here, I tell them to leave. Get out of here.
If you consent to any of their bullshit, you're inviting them in. You know what I mean? Like, you're like, "Hey, just come into my house and move in on me." They'll, you give them an inch and they'll take a mile. You know what I mean? Like,
oh yeah.
You gotta really be stern with them. And even like, there's people in the community that say to me like, "Ray, I don't want you to like algorithm." He's like, "Ray, I don't want you to have to go out and fight every day with everybody." Like, they feel bad. They're like, we understand that you're standing up and you're standing up for the community and everything, and you look good. But like, if it's causing trouble in your life,
but you're going through your daily day, trying to get from here to there and do your thing. And during the course of this, they're throwing these hurdles in front of you, and you're jumping over each one of them. None of them are tripping you up, and you just got to keep going with that. Eventually, nobody will bother you at some point. Because you're doing it enough, they'll remember you, they'll see you coming, whatever. Okay, here comes that disabled guy. Don't give him any stuff because he ain't gonna fall.
It helps because listen, there was one time when I didn't have the phone with me, right? I thought I did. I thought it was in my pocket, right? But I think I left it in the car I was with, or maybe I might have left it at the house because I think I left it at the house because I was only walking 10 minutes up the street and I just didn't remember to grab it and I was in a rush. But it was at Whole Foods. Okay, in Charlestown, right over by the monument over there. And I've been going back with the camera, seeing if the guy ever shows up again. Because they had this guy out there. And he had like a Hannibal Lecter mask. It was crazy, right? And it was like clear, so you could still see his face, but it was like a Hannibal Lecter thing. Yeah. And with a mask underneath it, and he had on he was a security guard, and he had on like a biker jacket, right? Like a leather jacket, like all beefed up, and he had on like a chain with his security guard badge around his neck on a dog chain, like he's a detective. You know what I mean? Like a detective badge, but it said security. you know, but it looked like a cop. It almost like the same colors of a cop badge, like the same as the Boston Police, how they have it in blue on their badge. He had it like that. He had it made up special to look like a Boston Police badge. You could tell it was like a replica that he had made that said security instead of Boston Police, right? It looked legit, but it was him. He was an old dude. So he was like, "You're not getting in," you know? And I didn't have a camera with me. The camera helps because when you have a camera, you get in. They back off. They don't want to be caught on camera, but they take advantage of you when you don't have a camera. So I didn't have one. I was like, shit, I went to pull it out, and I was so aggravated. I was like, oh, this would be such a good one to get for YouTube. This guy looks nuts, you know? I was like, this guy needs to end up on YouTube, but I didn't, you know, I was like, I'm going to go back and get him another time. But so that day I really needed juice, and I really needed strawberries and some bananas for my kids. Like that's all that my son, sometimes he'll only eat fruit. So,
well, that's good.
And so like I needed the juice because that's all he'll drink. So I had to go in there, and I was like, dude, I'm just trying to get some food for my kids. I'm like, seriously, dude, just let me through. I'm like, this is a grocery store. Like, you don't want to sell. It was a gallon of milk too. I was like, you don't want to sell a gallon of milk? You know, you don't want to. You just have endless supplies of milk that you don't need to sell them. Like, you don't have a fridge full of milk in there right now that they're gonna go bad, and you're gonna dump a bunch of them down the drain anyway. Right. You know. And he's like, no, we can't let you in. And I was like, you know what? I'm not going to argue with you. Just go get the manager. And he's like, I am the manager. You know, like one of those. He's a security guard. He's not the manager. He doesn't even work for them. He's an outside company that they hire, you know? And I'm like, dude, just go get the manager. So then the manager came. He heard me yelling at him, go get the manager. I had to say it like 6 times. He was not going to get the manager. So
people just like to make themselves so much more important than they actually are. You know what I mean? I noticed that with the whole beginning of this thing, when you had the people at the door, what were they called? Health ambassadors at the door at Walmart and all these places trying to get you to put this on and hand you a mask and all this stuff. And, you know, they're like, oh, ma'am, stop. Wait, you can't. You have to stand here first. And then you'll have to stand here. And then I'll tell you when you can go in.
Yeah, those people.
Me?
And that's when they still have the dots everywhere. That's another thing. Like, how do they afford to put these dots everywhere overnight in every store? Dot stickers. That's everywhere. You know how many?
This whole production was already set in advance, and they had all their props ready to go. Same thing happened to me here in the little area that I shop in. I went into the liquor store. And they had plastic up. It was a specific kind that when it unfolded and went down, it had certain creases going across it. And then I had gone to Walmart, and then I went over to the post office. And I go into the post office, and they have the same exact plastic as over here at the liquor store. And I'm like, did y'all get the same delivery today or something? Like, how is it that you have the same identical stuff as over here?
The lady at the check cashing place was the worst when I civil rights audited them. Because she messed with me one day, and I didn't have the camera with me too. But I went back, and I knew she was gonna fuck with me. So I went. All I needed was 2 money orders, and I could have went up to the post office and got them, which was right up the street anyway. But I was like, let me try to get these people on an audit. I intentionally went in to try to fuck with them. So I was ready for them, and I recorded the whole thing good. And the place is called All Checks Cashed.
All checks. All checks.
All of them.
Not some. Not these ones over here with masks on, but all checks.
All of them. All checks. That's the name of the place. So I went in, and there's like these, 2 little ladies that work there, and it's the same ladies every time. And they're like, really, you could tell they just don't pay attention to nothing. They're just really, I don't know, they don't pay attention to the news or whatever. The lady told me before that, all right, they're behind bulletproof glass. They're behind bulletproof glass, right? They have the mask on. The lady told me she's double vaxxed, okay? And so she's all set, dude. She's fine. Like, bulletproof glass.
Yeah, right?
All right. Meanwhile, I was the only person in there.
They did the same thing to me at the tag place. I walk in, they're behind bulletproof glass. There's that little slit where you slide your information under and they give you your new tags and stuff. They're behind a door, a wall, glass, everything. And I was the only one in there. She's like, man, you got to wait outside. you don't have a mask on. I'm like, well, I can't wear a mask. There's nobody in here. I mean, like, she's like, no. Like, and I kept standing there trying to talk to her, and all she wanted me to do was just stop talking and get out the door as quick as possible. It was unbelievable how she was acting. So I go back out, and I'm like, well, what am I supposed to do out here? So then she comes out from the building and takes care of me outside. She takes my stuff and my money. She comes back out and hands me my tag. I mean, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's so ridiculous. And it looks like a zombie movie. Like when I'm out and I'm filming.
Society is never coming back from this. They're never coming back from this crap. As long as people are going along with this and willing to give up everything for it and not even exercise one right of freedom that they have, it's just we just can't come back from this. It's just only going to get worse until hopefully an X factor happens.
It's a trip though, right? How, all right, like I'll make the video and you can tell the whole thing looks like a zombie movie, right? And everybody from our community is like, wow, that looks like a zombie movie. You know, like people leave it in the comments, like it looks like They Live. It looks like a zombie movie. It looks like the zombie apocalypse. Like I have like, you can read them. They're there. You can read, there's like 50 of them. Everyone says the same thing, right? So other people though, like the people that are programmed, right, don't see it that way. They see it as me being reckless and endangering people. You know?
This is what I'm saying. It's like these two different worlds, the wheat and the tares, right? They're living in their own reality, all of them collectively through the tell lies to your vision brain mush that's going into their head. And then there's us who are living in our reality, which is we're trying to hold on to some remnants of normalcy in our lives, which, you know, normal wasn't any good either, guys. I was fighting against normal long before all this started. I'm just saying.
I feel like we can see both realities though. Like, as I can see where they're coming from if you believed everything they believe. You know what I mean? The way they believe it. But because we were there ourselves once before. But like, we can see it our way too. So we can go and try to back and make it. They only see it one way. They only see it their one way. They can't see it our way.
I said to a girl the other day when my husband and I were out eating, this real nice girl was serving us, and she had her mask on, and I'm like, I always try to get them to pull their mask down. I said, well, can I see your beautiful smile? And she pulled it down and she smiled. She had a beautiful smile. I was like, there you go. I was like, you know, don't you think by now, like, you know, something ain't quite right with all this? She's like, yeah, you know, some of this stuff doesn't make sense. And I'm like, yeah, I figured it out day one. And she's like, day one? And I'm like, yeah. Like, and I started to explain stuff to her. I can't believe that we're going on to the third year of this fucking retardedness, and people are just now starting to figure some stuff out. It's too fucking late. It's too late. They've already taken so much, and they're more than willing to take even more, as long as they have a part of the population that's willing to give it up and enforce it. I'm sorry for yelling.
No, go ahead. We got to get this out, and this is a good stream. I think we're doing good here. You know what I mean?
I mean, I don't know. They might take me down and give me a strike, but I don't care. I'm fucking tired of this shit.
I've been pretty good about it, like lately, because I was on my last strike on my channel, and I've been just figuring out ways to talk that you can get away with it. And then I put up a few Christian streams, and you know how like that's an algorithm, right? So I just bleeped out a few words. Freedom Grower, I censored the shit out of that motherfucker. I had the Freedom Grower, I had to censor the fucking shit out of him to get him on there. But I got it up there, right? And the video stayed up. So somehow I know what words to take out. I don't know how I know it, but I can tell. I'm like listening, and I don't take out many words. I just take out a couple.
I was telling my mom, I'm like, you know, because she's like, well, what is it that you're saying, or why would? And I'm like, you know, we don't have any freedom of speech. You go out into the world and try to tell people the truth and talk about things. They don't want to hear it. You'll get censored by just everyday people gatekeeping stuff. And then you go on to these platforms, which we're here in America. Okay. So the platform that we're on should adhere to the constitutional fucking rights that we have, not like China, where their whole thing is all censored and, you know, people can only say certain things and stuff. And, you know, they'll get sort of social credits deleted from their social credit score or whatever, if they say the wrong thing or look at the wrong thing on the internet or something.
Well, that the cops took an oath to uphold the Constitution. They swore an oath.
They swore
the Constitution.
Yeah. They don't
so
even know
people died. people died for that oath.
I said
That's
that.
a serious thing.
I said that recently. I said, this is a slap in the face to every veteran that's ever fought for our rights out there. But then you'll see veterans walking around with it on. Oh, you got to wear it. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
But a lot of the cops that I talk to, the most of the ones that I haven't come into any contact with any police officer that at all that said I had to wear a mask or anything. They always they know it's unconstitutional. They don't even wear masks.
The ones that came in on you at the bank were very nice. They were very nice.
Chelsea
and I'm
mask.
so glad that they were on your side and they stood for yours, because at the end of the day, guys, you know, they have to uphold the Constitution. Or
the Chelsea Mass Police have. I just want to say, because they might be listening. They've always been very professional to me. They've always been very very nice. They've always upholded the Constitution, man. And the Chelsea Police are legit. They're good.
Yeah, you can sue the balls off them if they fucking stamp on your rights and don't adhere to the constitutional rights of the public.
Yeah. But that lady came in and she seemed like she already knew, well, the situation. It's like they're trained for these situations. Like, but the thing is, that day at the bank, Jen, right?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really get the whole thing on camera because, like, I was going to the bank. When you go to the bank, you're doing your personal business. You don't want to get your friggin' bank account. You don't want people to know what bank you go to. You know what I mean? Like, you don't want to put all that business about you out. But so I was like, I'm not gonna. But I knew that they were gonna fuck with me because the signs were up. So like I started recording a little bit because I didn't have time to get Streamlabs up, type in a name of the friggin' thing. You know what I mean? Like it takes a few minutes. So I just started recording. And at first, right, the lady was like, you have to wear a mask. And she's behind glass too. And she has a mask on. She had like 2 masks on. And I'm like, no, I don't. I'm disabled. This is my bank. You have my money. You have to give me my money, right? Use the ATM. The ATMs are broken. I don't want to come up there and talk to you. I don't want to wait in this big ass line. You know what I mean? I would have used the ATM and get out of here. The ATM was broken. The other one was only giving 5s, and it was like making you take out $100 at a time.
Wow,
it was crazy. So then they told me to go outside and use the ATM because there was one in the parking lot, a drive-through that I could walk up to it. So I had to walk up in front of cars, risk my life. I'm disabled. It's like 7. I told them I'm disabled now. It's like 0.7 degrees out, and they're making me go outside and like creep around in the parking lot where I can get nailed by a car, a disabled person, where it's icy.
None of this makes sense. None of it makes sense. In the scheme of things, none of it makes sense. You're going to send a disabled person outside to fall on the ice, get hit by a car to get their fucking money out of an ATM drive-through?
I was still being nice to them, and I did it. Because I don't want to fucking be an asshole to everybody.
The fact that it makes no sense. The whole bus thing makes no sense, and they don't even see that it doesn't make sense.
So
they
when
have got these people completely brainwashed and twisted in their heads.
Yeah, but when I got to the ATM, Jen, it was empty. It was telling me only no withdrawals, only deposits. And I'm like, are you fucking serious? I fucking walked all the way out here, and it's fucking empty. You know what I mean? So I went back in and out. This time I put on the live stream while I was out in the parking lot. I was like, all right, I'm ready for this. I was like, boom, let's go. Like boom, baby. And then I walk in and I'm like, all right. And the lady at when she was telling me she wouldn't serve me on the other thing, I said, let me talk to your manager. Let me talk to your supervisor. And I seen the supervisor sitting over in her office on the side at the desk,
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, there's no supervisor here. I'm the supervisor, And I was like, whatever. So this time I was like, I'm not even going over there. I went right up to the lady in the desk, right? And she was on the phone,
mm-hmm.
right? And I was like, she wouldn't say a word to me. I was like, listen, are you the supervisor? And I had her on camera, and she was just looking up smirking. Like, which you could tell. She had a mask on. But you could tell her eyes, the way she was looking. She's smirking. And she's on the phone like a little snitch, like, calling the cops, right? And I'm like, what's going on? Like, I just want my money. Like, I have $300 in 5s now. I was like, I need $500 to pay my rent. All right, I need to get $200 more. Can you just go get me all hundreds and get me my other 200, right? And they were like, no. They were like, they wouldn't do it. She wouldn't do it. She wouldn't say shit. She's like, oh. I was even being nice to her because she was a young lady. I was like, listen, miss, if I shut the camera off, will you talk to me at least? You won't even answer my question. I'm only recording for my protection, right? And she was like, I put the camera down. I shut it off. And then she was like, I'm sorry, sir, but I already called the police. The police are coming.
And you know what's sad? You know what's sad too is that they already have a preconceived notion of us of standing up for our rights. Somebody like you, that you are a QAnon Trump supporter. so not only are they looking at you like you're a problem because you're not going along with the herd mentality, but there's also something seriously wrong with you because you got to be this, that, and the other thing for standing up for yourself.
So
none of us are supporters of any political anything. Poly means many and ticks means bloodsuckers. So there's that. And, you know, the fact that these people want to try to slap labels on us all the time is just another confirmation that they're brainwashed.
And behind the scenes, I talked to the guy from the bank on the phone, and I tried to record it, but it got fucked up. It didn't work. But the guy, I told the guy, like, dude, that's my bank. I'm disabled. You can't not give me my money.
That's right.
And I was like, you can't have a business. All right. I was like, the Civil Rights Act, Section 2.
You would have been better off if you went in there and robbed their asses. You would have been out quicker.
I broke the whole thing down to him, and he. It sounded like, I told him how it's up on YouTube and it's up on 4 platforms. And I was like, you need to train your people better. I was like, I'm not trying to sue you or anything. I was like, you guys broke the law on camera. I was like, but I'm just trying to get you to I don't want this to happen again to anybody. I was like, that's why I do this, because I don't want somebody worse off than me. It's like somebody real,
You know what's sad
taken advantage of
is how mean and rude these people can be. I mean, yeah, life's pretty fucking shitty. Everybody's struggling. The whole world's turning to shit. Our roads are crumbling, the bridges, all this stuff. Everything's just deteriorating all around.
And then they're making money off of our money, because once they turn the Federal Reserve over, right, from the gold standard to the friggin' Federal Reserve, once we switched over from our money being actually gold pieces, right? Mm-hmm. All right. Everybody's social security number generates like $50 million, right? So your money is stocked in the Federal Reserve now. Your
birth certificate is worth money on the stock market, and they trade our birth certificates, and this is how they enslave us in debt on future generations.
It's all about your signature, your consent. The bank needs your signature to get the money. They have lawyers that know the laws that they can get around and get you your money out of the Federal Reserve.
We're actually
it's your money.
We're the creditors, not the debtors. But they have us asking them for credit and loans and all this stuff like that. And if you put $100 in the bank, they could lend out $1,000 on that $100 that you put into the bank.
They're making so much money off your money. It's your money. They wouldn't have the money without your signature. It's not theirs. So they're charging you all these crazy fees on your account. All this stupid shit is they got the money from you from your signature. And you know what else? All contracts are void if both parties don't agree.
I also like to mention that the guy who's the new Secretary Treasury who signs the federal notes, his last name's Mnuchin. I forget his first name right now, but the Secretary Treasury is supposed to sign the banknote, and then it's on every one that they make a copy of and everything. He prints his name out. So for you to cash a check, you would have to sign the back of it. If you print your name, that doesn't work, okay? Because anybody can print your name. They can forge it. Just anybody can print it. You have a unique signature that's to you, and if anybody tries to sign your name, like that would be a forgery, right? But if you print it, they won't even accept it. But now this guy's printed his name on our money instead of signing it, which means our money is completely worthless.
Yeah, it has to. They call it a wet signature, is what you're talking about, Jen.
A wet ink signature, yeah.
Yeah, you need to have your signature wet.
If you don't pay something and you have, say you owe, I don't know, some kind of debt, right? And you don't pay your debt, and then that company goes and gets a debt collector. That debt collector buys your debt off of that company, and then now they try to collect from you. This is called a third party creditor, right? So they're calling you now to pay back this money that you owed that company over there, but they bought your debt. And you have no wet ink signature contract with this new company who's now calling you to pay back a loan that they just paid off for you.
Yeah, they have to have the original contract on original ink, the pen that you signed it.
I'll say, well, I'll be glad to pay that back if you can show me a wet ink signature that I have a contract with you to pay this money back. And they're like,
that's how you dispute your. That's
and they're like, they can't. Well, thanks for paying my debt off. Click.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that to a couple of them. I'm planning on it. They suck, you know. Yeah. There's these two that were getting out of control. I had these 2 credit cards, right? That during this whole thing, all my other credit cards have been helping me out. You know, I know they got in the beginning of this, they got money to help everybody, you know, and help people's debts. I don't know if it ran out, but you know, there's these 2 credit cards that screwed me over. So I just started giving them $5.33 a month, both of them, right? $5.33 exactly. So it adds up to $10.66. It's the same credit card company, but 2 different cards. They were charging me outrageous fees. And I was like, this is putting a hole in my life. I was like, these 2 cards are my fucking problem. I pinpointed it. I was like, I'm eliminating them. I'm like, I'm not even paying them no more. They're asking for too much on their fees, their yearly fees.
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck it. So $5.33 a month. And then you know what happened? I did it. I kept sending a letter to them that said, I agree to pay you $5.33 a month until this debt is paid, right, in full, or until this debt is resolved. I kept wording it a little different every time, but it was pretty much the same message. And they kept sending me shit, like threatening things. And I just ignored them. And I just kept sending the same thing. Over and over again, the same thing.
But
just
another
the same
thing that they have us all, you know, worked into is the credit report. Well, you know, if you don't pay it, you're going to get a bad thing on your credit report. So you better be a good little girl and pay your debts. Well, that's just like the social credit system that they have over there, except it hasn't completely spilled over into every aspect of our lives. But you don't have to have a perfect credit score in this world to get by. I have lived in 3 different locations, rented off of private people, 1 real estate, and 2 others were private people. The house that I'm in now is a friend of mine renting me this. I was buying used cars, right? So I you know, you save up your money, you know, $1,500, $1,800, go buy yourself something, buy here, pay here. I've gotten through life over the last 10 years without owning anything. No credit score, nothing. I mean, I don't even know what my score is. I don't even fucking care. You know what I'm saying? People need to let go of materialism. That's their way of keeping you sucked into their fucked up system. Yeah.
The only time I used to open up credit card accounts for Macy's. I used to work there. I used to work at the Gap, and I used to just, you know, ring people up and shit. But I used to open up the credit cards like crazy because they give me extra money and stuff for doing it. So I was basically a credit card shill for a while, and I was sitting there, and I used to have an answer for everything. So people used to say, "Oh, like I don't want to ruin my credit," and I used to say, "What are you going to buy a house soon?"
Well, you know, I got to say that they have a saying out now that the government saying that their future plans for us is you'll own nothing and you'll love it. You know, and a lot of people are like, oh my God, like, what does that mean? You know, won't own, you don't own your fucking house. You don't own the land that you're on. If you don't pay your taxes and your house is paid off, right? You bought it, it's paid for, but the land you're sitting on, right? If you don't pay your taxes and you think you own that land or whatever, see how long you live there. Okay. They're going to slap a lien on you when you go to sell your place. They're going to want their cut, all this stuff. So you're never really free from anything. And this whole idea of, you know, cookie cutter houses, you got to grow up, get married, go to college, get married, have kids, have a house, have a car, you know, and this SUV and a dog and all this stuff like that. This is the way they've roped us into the system by relying and wanting all these things. And
the definition of the word government is mind control, you know.
Yeah, they're governing your mental state.
I was looking it up though, like people, I heard people say it, right? And I was like, you know what? One time when I was first starting out, I was like, you know what? I want to actually do the research on this myself, look it up, and actually just make a video about it, because everyone's saying, there was people in my chat saying it does, there's people in my chat saying it doesn't. I remember looking it up on Google once and it said it, but then I never seen it again. So then someone told me it's in the Latin. So I looked it up in the Latin, and sure enough, it's etymologically something like that, some word like that, the Latin. If you look up the Latin, it says to control the mind of the people.
Yeah.
So
governmental is governing your mental state, for sure. And that's exactly what's happening when they have people on the rat race wheel. I got to get up. I got to go to work. Got to make money. Got to pay the bills. Got to feed my kids. Got to send the kids off to college. Got to pay the credit cards and all this stuff. It's because they have you trapped into their beast system already. And then now they can control you with that. They can be like, well, you can't come in here unless you have this. And since you're already doing all this over here, well, you might as well do this too. And you can still go on and have your stuff. Or, oh, you want to go on vacation with your family to wherever? Well, you're going to have to wear this and do this and have these cards to show. I mean, this is like, you got to go everywhere and show your papers now. And then you find out that half these things that they're putting out there for people supposedly to help them doesn't even work. So all the people that went out there and got all this stuff to get these cards, well, how does the card make any sense if there's this new stuff out that doesn't even work for? So their whole thing doesn't even make sense, but it doesn't matter. It's steamrolling through, and people are just jumping on that train left and right. I mean, I had one lady a few months back, maybe it was like April, or maybe it was like maybe June or July. She's standing behind us. I turn around and I look at her, and she was kind of close to me, and she's like, I kind of just was like, what are you doing? Like, she was just right there, and I wasn't used to that because usually people don't come up on me like that behind me at a store. And she's like, oh, I'm jabbed up. I'm like, sorry to hear that. I'll pray for your soul. And I turned back around and she was just like laughing and giggling and so happy. She's like, there's 7 million of us now. And I'm like, oh my God, get me the fuck out of here. There's crazy lady behind me.
Yo, so listen to this, right? There was this old lady at Costco. This lady was old. She must have been like, she was elderly, She was probably like 90 or 85 or something, Yeah, I think she was 87. I remember. She was something like that. And she was like, she came up and she seen my little kids, and I was with Michelle, and we all didn't have the things on. And she was like, it's okay. I took the boom, baby. You know what I mean? And and then she was like, I can come near the kids. It's fine because I took the boom, baby. And then I was like, no, it's cool. We don't care. We're not afraid. And she's like, you're not? And Michelle was like, no, we're not afraid. It's fine. You can come near the kid. You know what I mean? And the lady was like, well, I took the double boom, baby. And I was like, really? You did? And she was like, yeah. I was like, how'd you feel? And she's like, not, she didn't feel great, so I don't know, man.
Well, my little neighbor next door who took hers early on, it was probably like March, April, right when it first came out, right when they were first warp speeding it out there. She's like, Jennifer, get your anyway. She called me the other day during a live stream, told me to keep an eye on her health, that she's recovering from being extremely ill. She was in the hospital, all this stuff. Now that was April. May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. So that's like 9 months ago. 9 months. Within 9 months, she's gotten, and she has not been back to her house yet. As a matter of fact, I'd be surprised if I see her back at all, because she got very frail, very it's like she shrunk up even. She was already a tiny woman, and you could hear how weak she was in her voice when she was talking to me on the phone. And she said it was multiple things that was wrong with her, not just like one thing. One of them was a UTI, though. So she's got infection going on and stuff. This means her immune system's probably fucking shot at this point. Because she went back for number 2 as well. She got both of them.
It sucks. That really sucks.
And they said early on, one of the researchers had said that, these people may only have a certain amount of time after, the boom baby. Like maybe a 2-year span, you'll see a lot of, this is why they come out with all the new variants. Well, now it's this, and this is what it is, and now it's that. And it's like, are you kidding me?
they plan the variants probably ahead of time. They're like, all right.
Oh, they had them
this
all
is-
lined up. Yeah.
They're like, anytime we want them to do something else, we'll just come up with a new one. They're like, and then we'll just make them see something on the news that makes them go this way. Or it's like a bunch of sheep, you know? Like they're a bunch of bah. They're like, you know what I mean?
They love to be told what to do, Ray. They love to be told what to do, and they just can't wait to be told to do something else. It's a hive mind collective, and they're just waiting for their marching orders. And who knows what's going to happen when they turn up the frequencies around us? These people could, get activated in some way. And this zombie apocalypse that they were talking about years ago with the WHO and all these other things on the internet, government corporations and stuff, branches of the government preparing for the zombie apocalypse. That was within the last 7 years. They were putting all that crap out. And
they have all these things in place to control people, that, like part of the Matrix type of shit, like the television, the televised television, and like just the whole everything they have in this reality that they put like out is like the news, the newspaper, like shit that they put out is just to control everybody. Yeah. There's so much deception that you got to see through, but yeah, they definitely use the TV. I think they use like the sporting events, all that shit. That all controls people. The clubs and all that shit distracts people. Like they just have all these different things for people to do. Just keep them stuck in the reality. Going to the mall and just spending a shitload of money on stupid shit. Yeah, like people
Christmas. Not even within 6 months, all the crap that you bought your kids is either in the trash or broken. And people run out and spend money, get in accidents, all kinds of fucking shit around here going nuts at Christmas time. It's
how about the movie theater, right? They show all these crazy movies and they're like, hey, go sit here and pay $40 for a popcorn and sit on your ass for 2 hours and waste your life.
The movies have really gotten fucking shitty. I watched just over the last month, I maybe watched 2 or 3 new movies that were out, only just because there just wasn't nothing going on and I couldn't keep researching. I need to decompress sometimes and watch something else. My husband's like, well, let's check out this new movie. It seems like all the new movies, they just all suck. All of it just sucks across the board. Just saying. All right, so I want to take about a 10-minute break. What do you think about that?
I want to get a drink. Listen, shout out to Daryl Davis, dude. I ate some RSO, and my lips are like sticking together. I can't. Yeah, I need something to drink.
Okay, so I'm gonna play something, guys. Now, it's not for the faint of heart. I'm sorry if anybody doesn't like this video. I'm gonna play it. This is one of my personal favorites because this is how I feel when tyrannical things are happening to good people and in their lives and situations. So just take it metaphorically, if you will. And me and Ray will be right back. Enjoy. We're going to be a 10-minute break. All right, guys.
crossing my street, you gotta pay the toll. See, there's two ways to get off this street. You work for me, or the other way.
I ain't gonna run drugs for you.
I love this kid. I was kind of hoping you'd say that. What you doing here?
Laundry.
You like breathing?
Usually.
Get the fuck out of here, old man.
You ain't going nowhere.
You got a special on bourbon? I meant vodka. I'm 6 months sober. Fucking animals. Makes you want to do something, don't it? A couple of years back, that was me standing right where you are now, looking out that door. The only difference was a little girl back then. What'd you do? I walked out there. 3 tours in the sandbox, not so much as a scratch. I come home to this shit. Always a war on somewhere. Why fucking bother? That's my motto. The Almighty struck those savages down today. There'll just be 5 more to replace them by tomorrow. Nothing makes a difference. The whole world is burning down, my friend. I got me a front row seat for it. $1.50 for the Yoo-hoo. Bottle of Jack.
Say yes or cut the fucking throat, kid. Come on, kid, say yes. All you gotta do is say yes. You got a choice. Out my way. Or this way. Come on now, kid. You say yes. All you gotta do is say yes. We got motherfucking power up in here.
You know the difference between justice and punishment?
What?
You drop this.
Keep it. It's got a hole in it anyway.
All right, guys, that's us destroying the New World Order. Just saying.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out. I just came back, but I was getting a drink and shit. But I just.
So that's not a movie. I just want to let everybody know it's a short film called Dirty Laundry. You can look it up on YouTube. It's been out for quite some time. I guess they were going to make a movie out of it, but it was just like a short film. But I really enjoy it because, you know, you got these tyrannic, it's kind of metaphoric in a way too, what we're all going through and stuff, and how some people are like, yeah, well, you know, you can't do nothing about it. You just got to let it happen. You know, it's not going to make a difference. And this guy went out and he made a difference in his own way, violent, albeit, but I get it. But look at Ray. He's making a difference. He's going out. He's putting himself out there. He's dealing with all these people attacking him left and right. And he is just hitting them with so much fucking truth that they're begging for a fucking lie from him. You see what I'm saying? So I love you, Ray, and you just keep doing what you're doing. And I got your back. You let me know anytime. I'll bring me and my taser up there, and I'll help you out.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I like the support. I love how this whole community's been supporting me, like in so many different ways, and like everybody's just backing me up, and that's good because I didn't have no backup. I was fighting this fight alone before, you know, and now I have like 800 people, awesome people that just chime in every day. They always cheer me on. They always leave comments on the videos, so people who are in the videos, when they watch them, they see that it's not just me that's thinking that way. There's hundreds of people leaving comments saying that you look like a Nazi. You know what I mean? So, yeah, it's like it's getting really crazy out there, and it's not good. It just sucks. I don't know. I'm just trying to fight it while I still can, because there might be a day when there's nothing you can really do before the lead get you in a place.
Well, you know, what are we going to do when they come at us like fucking zombies? You know, who knows what's in these people at this point, and what type of frequencies can activate whatever might be in them. When you get something put into your system, that blood that it's in carries all through your body. So that means that stuff's up here in your brain. They can control your ass. And if they start to hit zombie mode, you know, it'll be really easy to see who's jabbed and who isn't.
It's like who would wake up in the morning and think to put that on your face and go outside, like, unless you see it on the TV.
Disgusting. You know what people are getting
on the TV?
People are getting wet lung. It's an infection from breathing in their own. There's this bacteria that's forming on that face thing all day long, and they're breathing it back in. This is why people are getting all these upper respiratory lung infections and stuff. Of course, they're going to label it.
My mom just had some sort of I don't know, problem. She might still have it. Who knows? She has COPD, but they quarantined my brother's two families. My two little brothers. They're both a little bit younger than me. One of them's really younger than me, but one of them's only like 2 years younger than me. And they all got that. One of them's he's military. He was ex-military. He works for the VA, and he's like a Fed now. I don't know what the fuck he does. He's top secret. You know, he doesn't tell nobody. But then my other little brother, he's a bank guard. So they both got jabbed. Their whole family got jabbed. Their whole family got the boom, baby. They got their kids the boom, baby. Everybody in the whole family, dude. There's a big family. One of them has a big family. There's like 15 of them. They all got the boom, baby. They all go along with the whole script. You know what I mean? They think I'm crazy. They think I'm nuts coming on here saying this shit, right? So
yeah.
Now they all said that they tested positive. They tested dirty. So they all had to stay in their houses. After they got the
boom, baby? After they got the boom, baby?
Yeah, and me, Michelle, my mom and dad, the people that didn't get it, we're all fine.
Oh, yeah. And, I've never been sick. I've never used hand sanitizer. I never wore one of those things ever at all. Never gotten sick this whole time. 2 years it's been. I haven't gotten sick.
So it's kind of crazy. It makes me wonder what's really going on. And then they weren't really sick. So it's been like it's probably they're done with it now, because I asked my mom the other day. I was like, what happened? I was talking to my mom on the phone, and I was like, hey, Ma. I was like, what happened? Are they still sick? Like, no, they're all back to work now. And I'm like, so everybody's fine. No catastrophes. Nobody's dead.
Even though their little boom baby didn't even help, what was the point of even getting it if there's this 99.9 survival rate of something that doesn't exist anyway? I mean,
well, they're probably telling them that because they got it, it was not as deadly, so it saved them. You know, they still got a little sick, but you know, it saved them. It still saved them. You know what I mean? They still got sick. They still had to stay in their house for 14 days or whatever it was, right? And not go to work and nothing. And they probably loved that. Oh, when I went to Walgreens, they sold out of test kits. There was one, that's the one I did at Walgreens. They sold out of test kits. It said they had a cardboard sign up that said, "We are sold out of test kits." I was like, and then I went back 2 days, right? 2 days ago, 2 days after, and the same cardboard sign was there. But they changed it. It's set in the same spot, but it was cardboard. It said, "Test kits, limit 4 per person, $25 a piece." So they want you to spend $100 on test kits. Like,
and some places are making people. Some places want to make people who work for them get tested like weekly or monthly and stuff. It's insane. And who's paying for all this? They expect you to pay for it? It's like, are you kidding me?
I was in line, and I said to some lady, I said, $100 for test kits. I was like, are these people crazy? And the lady looked at me and said, it's because they don't want to go to work. They want to get COVID. They want to test dirty for COVID so they don't have to go to work. I'm like, really? That's what people are doing? And she's like, yeah. I'm like, wow, that's crazy. I get the scoop on the street, man. I get it out of people. I talk to all the
figuring out a way to work the system.
yeah. They don't want to go to work, so they're buying the test.
We're living in a world where people don't want to go to work. It's just crazy. Like,
yeah.
It's just bizarre.
Yeah, I know. Like, you wouldn't want. Like, you should want to go to work. You know what I mean? Like, oh man.
I can't even imagine what this place is going to look like even in 5 years, let alone like 10 years or something. I don't even know if we'll even be here at that point. I think there might be some other people here instead of us.
Yeah.
Like another country taking over or something. It's going to be a lot less around.
One of my friends was a Nazi. He was a legit like skinhead like type of guy, like always shaving his head. Like, but he was on the train one day. And I was with him, and he was like, he was looking at me, and he was looking around the train, and he was like, Ray, it was like I closed my eyes in 1982 or something, right, and blinked, and I'm not even in America anymore. And I was like, looking around, and I was just like, nuts.
Well, there's a song out there called Inside Job by Don Henley. They will not allow it on YouTube at all. And I have tried numerous times to get it up on YouTube. But it says in there, when you were sleeping, they came and took it all away. And these people have been sleepwalking through life, thinking they're living their lives, but they're not. And they've literally just taken everything away, and they're not going to give it back. They're just not.
Yeah.
It's quite a situation here. But do you have anything you want to share at all? You want to email me anything to show anything? You have any pictures or anything? We can always bring them up. Or now?
What do you want to show? A civil rights audit, or you want to do?
Whatever you want.
I mean, you could take something off my channel. Is that a pain in the ass?
Let me see here.
I mean, you could. What do you want? I mean, I don't want to put on anything too long. I don't want to bore people. Well, we could talk over it.
Hold on. Let me see what I got here.
We can mute it. I could explain what's going on.
I don't even know if I'll be able to get it to play on my end here if I bring
it up. I honestly didn't even prepare anything because I figured everything I already had is uploaded, and I don't know. Today I did two train rides, but nothing really crazy really happened. Nobody really messed with me today. But people on the train were being rude. That's about
Yeah,
it.
it sounds like there's a lot of rude people in Boston. I gotta say.
I can't. Yeah, today they was dudes that were trying to fight me almost, and I was just like, I just stood my ground because, like, they can't really say shit. Like, all right, so they're mad at me for having a camera, but they're not mad about a camera being up there every 2 feet. They're on camera. You're on camera anyway, dude. There's a fucking camera everywhere you step. They're recording you. Why aren't you mad at them? That's the thing. The guy on the outside of the bus that was yelling at me, he was like, you're holding up the whole bus, man. And I was like, dude, I don't drive the bus. I can't get this thing to move. I can't go just take the driver's seat. I would drive you home, you know? Like,
Right.
it's the bus driver. You should be mad at him. You know, he's the one that's not driving. He's the one that pulled the bus over like an idiot. And then I asked the bus driver, are you guys trained to do this? Because, like, it seems like all the bus drivers do the same thing now. Like, you won't wear a mask. They pull over. They won't drive the bus. They act like they're calling the cops at first, but they're not, right? Okay, so you know what's crazy about them calling the cops too? If they never called the cops, right? And they gave me shit. They pulled the bus over a little bit, but they still just ended up driving me to my stop and dropping me off, and maybe they got there a little late or whatever, but nobody really knew what happened, right?
Uh-huh.
They'd be all right, right? But once you call the cops, there's a police report, dude. The cops don't fuck around. They make a report. That's how they get paid. Like, they make a report for everything they fucking do. So, like, that's their job. So, like, all right, there's a police report now. That's going to go back to your manager. So now your manager in the higher up is going to look at the situation no matter what, because there was cops involved. Like, you're the one who was breaking the law by discriminating. So why would you call the cops on you, you know, when you're breaking the law, you know?
I have a screen share up here. I'm going to go to one of your videos here, and we can talk through it. I think if I do this right. Let's see.
They called the cops on me. So.
Oh, yeah, this was at the bank.
I'll make sure you can see this.
I came in to get.
I can't see it, but I can hear it.
My rent. And
I'm not sharing it?
No, but I can hear it. The audio.
Hold on. All right, hang on. Let me just figure out why I'm not sharing yet. Chrome tab. Oh, I had to pick the thing. That's it. Okay, sorry. I'm not used to doing it this way. All right.
It looks good, though. It looks really nice, the way you got it set up. I like that. I like that flat earth, too. It's fresh. It's new. I haven't seen one, you know. I'm used to looking at flat earth things, and that one's good.
Yeah, I like it without the ice wall. I'm not promoting the ice wall anymore. I think that was something that, you know, it was kind of like put out there, like you know how they say they have all this stuff lined up already. They knew flat earth was going to come out. They really want us to think that there's an ice wall there, and I don't think there is. I just don't. I'm not buying the ice wall.
I agree that I was thinking about what you guys were saying, and I even mentioned it in the stream the other day that there might not be an ice wall. That there might be just like one section that has ice, or a few sections somewhere, like there is everywhere else.
So can you see this on the screen right now?
Yeah, I can see that. So let me explain what's happening. So this was at the bank, and the ladies were giving me shit. The lady wouldn't even answer me. She wouldn't give me any customer service at all. She wouldn't talk to me and even say a word. She just called the cops and sat there on the try to make me go outside and use the ATM, and then they waited for the cops to come. So this is when the cops came. I told the story earlier. This is when the cops showed up. This is when I went live. I was like, I said to the lady, the cops are coming? And she was like, yeah. I was like, okay, fuck it. I went live. I set up the live stream, and I was like, I'm sitting down right here, and I sat in a chair, and I set it up. And this is what happened. The cops walked in right as I went live. Here we go. Here's the cops. These are the real police.
You have to tell me if there's an echo or not, okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
DM is only giving fives, and it only gives you 100 at a time. I need $500. I got 300 so far. I went up.
Does it sound okay?
Yeah.
All right,
So.
guys. If you hear an echo,
it looks clear.
I'm watching the chat. If anybody hears an echo, just put it in there for me.
$100 bills because it'll fall out on the walls. And I'm disabled. Look, I have a medical exemption. I'm not lying. My doctor told me not.
It's echoey.
It's gonna be personalized.
Okay. Just hang on. I'm gonna go over here and mute myself.
See, I only got one of these things working, and this is a $1 set of headphones from the dollar store. So it's basically the equivalent to using this thing like a cup with a string. You know what I mean? Like 2 cups with a string.
I'm not doing it. This is my bank. The Civil Rights Act of 1964, Section 2 states, if you have a business open during the day to the public, you have to accommodate disabled people. You cannot discriminate for any creed, race, religion. This is against my religion too, to be honest with you.
Mask?
Yeah, because I'll explain it to you. Because we were built in God's image, right? Our face, your face, we're special. Your face is God's image. You're covering God's image. It's a mocking to God. Also, it's a satanic evil agenda. The whole thing. It's against God. The whole thing. It's against families, against God. I wasn't allowed in for the birth of my daughter. I mean, there's other religions.
You want to pause it for 1 second?
It's against my religion.
Let me just say that what I'm trying to say here, what I'm trying to do it here is show is like when you tell them you have a religious exemption, you better mean it. You better explain to them why it goes against your religion, because that's the police that you're talking to. They're not fucking around. That's why he asked me that, because anyone can just easily say religious exemption, but like a real Christian, like he might recognize it if you really know what you're talking about. If you really are close to God.
That is true, Ray, but you don't have to. Just like if you tell them you have a medical issue, they have no right to even ask you what your medical issue is. I tell them,
right.
When I said religious exemption, I say right off the bat, thou shalt not cover thy face. And then I say Jesus killed the man of lawlessness with the breath of his mouth. And I walk away from it. Right. But technically speaking, you don't have to tell these people what your religious beliefs are or what your medical problem is. But you can if you want to.
This is what I learned, because I had a lot of run-ins with the police in my life. And I learned that it's okay to be friendly with them, a little bit. Like joke around, crack a few jokes, try to lighten the mood a little bit, because it helps. They're people too. But they ain't going to let you break the law in front of them. You can't let them see anything in plain sight that they can arrest you for, because they have to uphold the Constitution. They'll have to arrest you, even if they're your friend, even if you're friends with a cop.
That. All I'm saying is there's discrimination laws. They can't discriminate against medical or against religious beliefs,
religious
or color, creed, anything like that. But you you do not have to explain these people what your religious beliefs are. It's none of their business. It's just a fact. And yes, anybody can say this, and you should be ready to back it up if you have to. But in the scheme of things, just so you know, you don't have to tell these people shit. If you have a medical exemption or you have a disability where you cannot cover your airways in any kind of way, it's none of their fucking business. They need to protect your rights of discrimination, because you're being discriminated against here at this bank. But you handled this really well. I'm going to mute and we're going to hit play.
Yeah, let's do it.
Saying it's against my personal religion. Yeah, it's not just a mask. It's not just that either. It's satanic on so many levels. It's the mark of the beast. You can't buy, sell, or trade without it. Revelation 13, man. I'm not falling for that. But it's not only that. I have serious medical conditions where I can't.
I believe you. I guess
so.
I get it.
We need to figure this out. And also, just so you know, I'm a civil rights auditor, and right now I'm doing a civil rights audit, and we are live on YouTube. So
I adjusted the camera to get him. I noticed the camera wasn't getting him.
197. Yeah. Sorry.
Shit. Am I still here?
Any private business can deny service.
Yeah, but you know what? It's only private. Yeah, but you know what? It's only private at night when the doors are locked. During the day, it's public. But they're still letting public foot traffic in.
Hold on. I'm sorry about that. I'm trying to unmute myself. Okay. So what he did with his badge, the way he just didn't flinch or nothing, he just turned and showed you his badge, is what every one of these jackwagons is supposed to do without resistance at all. Most of them, especially a lot of the videos that I've watched recently about people getting pulled over in their cars and stuff, just traffic stops and different things. These cops have an ego out their ass, and they're just like, immediately get up on their high horse and, lick the boot of tyranny kind of attitude when you ask them about their badge numbers and and remind them that they're public servants working for you. And they should know about your rights and uphold your rights and stuff. But this guy was very nice. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, he was very nice. I was scared. I was still scared.
You did great, though. You did so good.
I was there. I was sitting in the bank. They had me cornered in the back office. You know, the place is like they could just lock the doors and you can't get out. Like it's a lockdown place. Like I don't like feeling trapped like that. And they, you know, they came in and I didn't know what they were gonna do. They could have like been like, dude, you're on bank property and there's some sort of law that you don't know about, and ha ha ha, we got you, motherfucker. You know, and they like slap the cuffs on you and fucking search you. Meanwhile, you might have weed on you or some bullshit or something that who knows, you know? They'll figure something out. They'll run your name and find out that you didn't pay a court fee or something and you have a warrant out for your arrest, and they've been looking for you for a long time, and all this bullshit. You never know. You know, it's a bunch of bullshit.
One by one, baby.
Yikes.
What am I supposed to do?
Oh, here it goes.
Jesus.
Oh,
yeah,
so,
just
I don't
to
know.
get my own money. Juan, I was flipping out.
I was talking to Juan. Juan Torres, baby.
I think the video moved up somehow, so I got to rewind it a little. I don't know. I don't know what happened, guys, but I got to mute back out again.
It's really fast, but yeah, you missed the part with the cops when.
Okay, here we go. Here we go. I'm gonna mute. I'm gonna mute.
All right, here it goes. You're good. I couldn't bring it back that close. See Chelsea, please.
God bless you, officers.
So what happened was the lady cop went and took my money and went up and exchanged it for me. So she exchanged my $5 bill.
That was crazy, dude. I got the beginning part recorded,
but I still didn't win.
And then because I didn't go live on them at first.
So I needed $500. See, I got their plates and shit. But yeah, I needed $500,
so
and
they'll probably have to report that now.
I only left there with $300. Yeah, I needed $500 that day. I needed $300 out of one account, my girl's account, and $200 out of mine. So it was two separate accounts. The money I had was my girl's money that she asked me to get for her, and it was all $5. So they exchanged that. They gave me $100. The cop took $300 in fives. Like she's a fucking bank teller now.
Cops had to come to this fucking bank just so they could take your money and take it up to this fucking bitch and then give you back your money. Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, that's what they did. They got that. But you know,
better to do.
But you know what they said? They said, "Is that all you need?" And I was like, "Well, no. I need money out of my other account." And they were like, "I need $200 out of my other account." They're like, "You can't go to the ATM." The cop said that. I'm like,
here we go with the ATM again.
All the ATMs are broken. You know, I had to explain it to everybody like 4 times. The ATMs are broken. I said to them, "Put some cash in the ATM and I'll use it."
What happened to the good old days when, you know, you get somebody with a wheelchair and they complain, well, how am I supposed to get into this establishment? There's no wheelchair accessibility. And boom, they put in wheelchair accessibility. Oh, wait, we got transgender kids going into schools now. So all the kids' schools have to be modified and have bathrooms for less than 1% of people, right? Everywhere you go, they got to throw in these bathrooms. Ray here is trying to get some shit done with his life, telling them that he's disabled. And now suddenly it doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is this fake fucking production that they're putting on.
And I have this. Look, this is what I showed them, right? This is me. And you see how it says Commonwealth of Massachusetts, and it looks like an official ID, almost like a cop would have or something, right? And on the bottom, it has a disabilities thing. Right? And it's expired now. I can get a new one. But anyway, it still works, right? They don't look at the expiration date. But you know what this is? This is my bus pass.
Wow.
You see? So that's how stupid they are. I'm like, I'm disabled. And I show them my bus pass. It's just so I can get a discount on the bus. That's all it's for. Like,
if I was a lawyer, I would tell you to sue their asses because you have mental abuse from this, mental scarring from this event that took place, and you would probably win. I'm just saying.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, they've been calling me, and I explained the whole thing to one of the guys already. All right. I said, from now on, when you guys call me, I want to hear what you're doing to discipline these people. Okay. Yeah. That's it. That's the only thing I want to hear about, right? So then they called me again, and they just, I don't know, I just didn't answer. I'm like, fuck it, I don't even want to deal with it. Like, I don't even want to talk to them. So they keep calling me and leaving me emails and everything, and I think that they're afraid that I'm going to press charges because, like, all right, they were calling me a lot, and then they stopped calling me for 2 days. Then I put it up on BitChute. You know what else is weird about it? All right. You know how you just played that part from YouTube and it shows the cops in the bank at the beginning, just the part you just played, right? And that's from a longer stream when I went food shopping and all this stupid shit, right? Well, when it uploaded to Odyssey, right? You know how I have my thing attached to Odyssey? When it uploaded to Odyssey, friggin' that part's not there. It's only the part when I go food shopping. The bank part is gone.
Really?
And Odyssey's like invested in,
Well, I got to tell you, right, none of my stuff has been going from TTS69, the channel that I'm working off now, and I have that hooked to Odyssey. Nothing's gone over there since they got the John.
I noticed that.
None of my stuff's going over there. It's just completely stopped. I don't even know what to do.
You gotta write to them, and you just gotta keep, and they'll get back to you. But at first they act like, I don't know. They say they're gonna fix it, but you just gotta keep bothering them. Write to them. Write to the whatever it is. You'll see it. Like if I'm having I
just don't get why all of a sudden out of the fucking blue they stopped taking my videos off of YouTube, putting them on there. I just don't get how that happened.
Is it still synced to your same channel that you have? Because remember so you have 2 Odyssey channels. You know that, right?
Yeah, I have 2. The one was True Seeker 69 Original. All those videos are there from my channel that they just took down recently. And now I have TTS 69, and that's hooked up to Odyssey. But the videos were going over there, but they stopped at like 17 uploads.
Yeah, so I wasn't sure if because you don't have one for Domestic Truther. So why don't you just make one for Domestic Truther, and everything will upload?
Yeah, I'll have to link it. I have to link it.
That's what I was thinking you should do.
I have to do another Odyssey and link it to TTS 69 and get all these videos to go there. Like again, I guess a whole new channel with this link to YouTube. I just don't understand why they keep fucking with me. Everybody's just fucking with me.
All my things said anonymous on Odyssey after I changed my name from Michelle L to Michelle Ellen Ray to Michelle Ellen Raymond, and then back to Michelle Ellen Ray with an
now you're just anonymous. They just put you as anonymous.
Yeah, I went on Odyssey and I was looking at all my videos and it was like anonymous, and I was like, oh, it's probably just not uploading right. Like sometimes it's a shitty upload and you can refresh it. And I tried refreshing it a few times, and I was like, you know what? I'll just come back tomorrow. And it'll probably be all right. 3 days later, it was still saying anonymous. So I wrote into them, and they fucking they got right back to me, dude. They were like, oh, well, and at first they didn't really fix it. It was still fucked up. They told me I had to buy all my videos back. They're like, just go to the ones that say anonymous and repost, like, take them back on your page. Like, they told me a way to do it, and I did it, and it worked. I forget how I did it though, but I did it, and then. And then after that, my videos still weren't uploading like yours. Nothing was uploading for a while. And I was like, they were like, don't worry about it. We're going to resync it. I'm like, all right. Nothing ever happened. I had to write into them again.
My shit. But
yeah, you can ask that. That's what you're going to say. I need my shit resynced. My videos stopped uploading. Troubleshoot.
How that happens. Like, how is it everything's working fine 1 minute and then the next minute it's just not synced? Like, what kind of platform is this? I don't know.
I know.
You're going to have less of everything you had before in this new normal, okay? If you had good service, you're going to have shitty service now. If you had clean parking lots when you get out of your car to go to a restaurant, now the parking lot's going to be trashy. That's the one thing I noticed too with these restaurants. The parking lot's trashy and the restrooms are trashy, but the tables are sterilized and they don't give you spoons anymore. What happened with this whole event that now spoons are a thing that you can't have put down on your table with your silverware? It doesn't even make sense to me. Why do I always got to ask for a spoon? What do spoons do?
I know what you mean. And like, I like even little things like, all right, like if you want to talk about that, like the when you go and you ask for dressing, like you remember when back in the day, you know, they'd give you a few like dipping sauces with your chicken or whatever you get. Like they give you like barbecue sauce. Like now at like friggin' places, they're like 25 cents, you know, they're charging you at a bunch of places like for the dipping sauce that comes with your
nickel
food
and diming us to death. That's so crazy. This is just more proof that everybody needs to get off the system. We're hooked on the system. I'm hooked on it to a certain extent. I admit it, but I try to be as self-sufficient as possible. I've been watching a lot of cooking stuff. I got the Lost Ways book, which is a PDF that I give out for donations $5 or more, and also other PDFs that have to do with civil rights that are printable and you can get them laminated. I just sent them all to Ray. He even has them.
Yeah, they're really good. I saw those, Jen, and yeah, I'm gonna. Oh, we already talked about it. I think. Yeah, I'm gonna print them out. I'm so excited about those.
So
I'm gonna hand them to people on video. I'm gonna be getting them for my civil rights audit.
I'm learning how to make bread. You know, I'm going to try to be more self-sufficient, make more things at home. You know, you can stock up on those kind of ingredients to where you won't have to go out to the store as much. You can just, you know, for things like that. You know, I would love to have chickens out back where I could just pick my eggs and stuff, but I'm not really set up for that in my little section here. But if I had the chance,
I'm not set up for that physically or emotionally. I don't think I can deal with chickens. I'm sorry. Like, I can't do it.
But you know, this is one of the ways that we're reliant on the system. We need that corner store to go get our stuff when we're running low on eggs and milk and butter and stuff like that. Or we have to learn how to live without that stuff and eat other things and be able to take care of ourselves another way and a way to get clean water and how to purify water and stuff. I mean, the ideal thing for me would be to buy myself a nice piece of land. Of course, there you go again. There's land that you have to buy, but you still have to always pay taxes on it. So what do? Do you put this land in a trust? How do you get around this whole tax thing? You have to take yourself out of the system. You have to do I can't think of the name of it right now, but me and my husband are doing it with our citizenship and stuff. He knows all the technical stuff to all this stuff. Revocation of election, I think it's called. Revocation of election, where you become a non-resident alien citizen or something. I'm natural born. I was naturally born here in the United States. But there's a difference between being a United States citizen and having to pay taxes and stuff, and being a non-resident alien thing or whatever. My husband's got all the names for this stuff, but I can't really get into the details of it because I can't speak on it fluently like he can. I'd have to go over it all. But it's a lot of work, and but it's worth it in the end. And if you can buy yourself a piece of land that has a nice, clean water running through it, like a little creek or something like that, you can find ways to use that water to create power for different things, or you can, figure out a way to live off grid and rely on yourself as much as possible. Not just go to like some crazy prepper attitude, but to try to detach yourself from this beast system that is getting more beastly by the day. It's going to be all consuming. And not only does it want your freedom and your spirit and everything, it wants to be inside you and take over you. And
we got enough people in this community that do so many different things that we probably could break off from society. If we have a community, we just need housing. That's what I keep saying. We have enough people for the community. We just need housing for everybody. Me and Michelle have been having trouble we're trying to get the fuck out of Boston because my kids got to go to school next year. My house is tiny, as you can see, and you can always hear friggin' kids screaming and banging around and all kinds of shit because I got like four rooms with 2 little kids running around. But and it's expensive here in Boston for this fucking little ass shithole. And I want to go to a place where there isn't any trouble, And
well, things are a lot cheaper here in Alabama. That's one of the reasons I've stayed here so long. I came up during the meltdown economy crisis in 2008, the collapse, we lost everything and had to move out of Florida because it was too expensive. And the cost of living is a lot cheaper here than most places. Like probably where you're at, Ray, cigarettes are probably like what, $10 a pack. Here they're like $4 a pack, to give you an idea of how the difference is. So things are a lot cheaper. Rent's cheaper here and everything. Even land and buying a house. Like if I wanted to buy this house that I'm living in, this is a 3-bedroom, 2 full bath, 2-car carport house. So it's a pretty nice split level rancher kind of style house. And my landlord 3-4 years ago asked me if I wanted to buy it. And it was only $98,000. $98,000 for this house. It's a really nice house. Okay. My rent's $825 a month. I can't hear you. You're muted, by the way.
Yeah, that's what I pay here. I pay $800 a month for a little shit 1-bedroom.
Yeah. You need to move. Probably just, I would suggest moving around here. You can find something, no problem. Yeah. And you'd have land around you too. I mean,
it was okay when my kids were tiny and they were babies and, both little kids, but now my son's getting huge. And my little girl, she just runs around and just destroys everything, and they're just driving Power Wheels around the kitchen.
Yeah. You need room. You need to get out of that place. You don't want them growing up there. It's only going to get worse. It's only going to get worse. So you got to do everything you can to figure out a way to get out of there. Start looking in different areas outside of your.
You got to hear this one. So I got my son Boom Babe. I got my son the Boom Baby when he was born, but I didn't know any better, right? So then I stopped. I stopped because I had that problem when I did the civil rights audit I don't know if you've seen it. It was from a while ago, but I went into Cambridge Health Alliance to my kid's appointment and I did a civil rights audit at the doctor's office.
I didn't see that one. Oh my gosh.
It's an older one, but it's got a ton of views. It's at the beginning. And I got the guy's picture up there, the medical director, because he's the one in charge, and he screwed me. So they told me I'm banned from the property. I'm no trespassing. I can't go to meet any of my daughter's or my son's appointments anymore with the mother. And they said with the kids, like they didn't say with your kids. They said with the kids. So meanwhile, right, from a different office, they sent me a thing and said, because I haven't gotten my daughter any Boom Babies, you know what I mean? So they called me up and they sent me a letter that said, like, threatening me, like, your daughter needs 18 of them. Okay, she's missing 18. She's not gonna be able to go to school next year. That's what the letter said, right? So I just was like, fuck it, Michelle told them we're gonna homeschool. So anyway, they whatever, it just went away for a little while. 3 months, 4 months go by, and then the other day I get a letter that says, we'll give you a $25 gift card if you get your daughter her shots.
Now they're trying
$25 gift card.
Unfucking believable, these people. They're just disgusting. They're so disgusting. If I knew now what I know then, if I knew then what I know now, I would have never gotten my shot of my kids any Boom Babies.
It's really getting out of control. And
you homeschool, you don't get your kids anything, and you try to get yourself out of that area. Start looking. I mean, I could send you stuff from around here, listings for places to rent and stuff if you need.
Yeah, Michelle. People have been talking to Michelle. Michelle's been talking to everybody and getting information because she's the brains of the operation. When it comes to that thing, like, I'm not gonna be able to go without her. That's why I'm still here. That's why I've been here for so long, because she's here. So if she's ready to go, I'm ready to go, and she's like ready to go now. So I'm like, let's do it. Let's get the fuck out of here. Yeah. She's all about it, but like, I don't know. We were trying to go down to South Carolina because everybody's going down there, but people at I don't know, a lot of the places. She's still working. It doesn't happen over
I'm telling you, Alabama's pretty nice place to live. I gotta say, everybody's gun owners around here, which is good, and they're church going folks, but they're church going folks in the respect that they're just down home people, and they're not as I mean, they can be brainwashed. Don't get me wrong. They had that brainwash attitude, but for the most part, I like the fact that they all have guns. That's it for me.
Yeah.
And they're pretty nice people. Like, I remember one time I broke down. Well, I didn't break down. I was on my way to pick my husband up, and I got a flat tire halfway there. And he was kind of close enough that he could walk to where I was to change the tire because I had a donut in the back. While I was waiting for him to get to me where I was at the car, I swear to God, 4 different people pulled over to see if I needed help. Now, if I was in Philly and this happened, nobody would have pulled over. They just wouldn't.
And Philly's the city of brotherly love, too.
The last guy that pulled over wound up helping my husband even change it, telling us, of course, about the church he goes to and stuff, whatever. But they're like that here, and that's what I always liked about this area. Since all this has happened, there's been certain things, certain times and stuff. But for the most part, nobody fucks with us around here. And it's pretty laid back with everything. Even when the governor, what was it, back in maybe like September, the governor was on TV for Alabama talking about, we're the lowest state and we got to get this up. And it's all, the unjabulated people that are, causing all this problem and stuff. But it wasn't like it was like ripple effect through the whole state and everybody was, clamping down. It was still pretty easy. I still have never worn one anywhere. And nobody has ever, as far as I can tell, nobody's forcing anybody to show any papers before they go in any buildings or anything.
Yeah.
I haven't experienced nothing like that.
No.
So,
So I haven't seen that either. I'm looking for that, and I might catch it soon because every day, like I said, every day is a civil rights audit. Record everything. That's what it's coming to. You need to everybody that has a camera or YouTube channel. If you have a YouTube channel that's sitting there and doing nothing, make that motherfucker work for you. Make that fucking thing do its job. Make it play fucking videos constantly. That's what I try to do. That's why I have so much content, because I want my fucking channel. I haven't been playing so much shit lately because I've been busy, but recording for Stuffed Beagle. That's awesome, Jen, that what I went today, man, for Stuffed Beagle. All right, so
I can't wait to see that stuff.
We pinpointed the area of Boston where it's flooded. Beagles did. Stuffed Beagle. Right. And I went down to the coast today, and I went up into this neighborhood that everything is brick. Everything has detail. Listen, even the flower pots, Jen, the flower pots in the fucking yard look like gravestones, like monoliths. Really? And yeah, they're really old, like historic flower pots. You can tell they came with the place. You know what I mean? Like they're just there. They don't have even nothing growing out of them anymore. They just got around the dirt and a bunch of weeds, And it's like, you look at them and they have all these crazy designs on them, like gravestones. Like they look like the old gravestones, and they're part of the property, And there's so much cool shit everywhere you look. Fencing, all these different fences.
How about like Victorian homes, like the Victorian style homes? You have those up there everywhere and stuff, like the really ornate kind of brick houses and stuff.
Yeah, a few.
Yeah. You have a lot of row homes like Philly does. Like when you go in Center City, Philly, and start to go out a little from the center, you got all those row home brick homes and stuff. Yeah. They're just like the stuff that we see in Pompeii, where they got those little tiny side streets and the houses together on each side, all the way down, all brick, all the same. You know what I mean? It's just like that in Pompeii, because those things aren't any older than our stuff that we're still using today.
There's this one house that's right up the street from me that I covered it because it has Antiquitech. It had Antiquitech on the roof, and there was one across the street that with a conical. They both had conical roofs, and they both had Antiquitech, and they both looked like similar. And they were, and I could see brick underneath, so the house was brick. So I filmed it, and then like a month ago, the Antiquitech was gone. So I made a video of that. Right now, I noticed that they're stripping the place down. Now I noticed they bulldozed the front yard, right? What? The front yard at that place is bulldozed, right? Wow. And I'm thinking, I'm going to keep my eye on it, because what if they dig down and I can see levels under the house? And I'm looking, it's all mud. And I'm looking into them. I'm digging in the mud. I'm digging in the mud. Yeah, and I'm waiting for that shit so I can see if there's any floors underneath, because there probably is. It's going to be a trip.
Probably. I wouldn't be surprised.
It's going to be a trip. See, I got my eyes on some stuff.
I
You
think
know?
there's some places where there's whole towns that are covered over that we just don't know about. Like literally, like look at the plains nations. Listen to me, the plain nations, the plain states and stuff. Where well, look, Kansas is 400 miles of flat as fuck. Just saying, okay, there's nothing out there. You go to like Nebraska and stuff; it's all flat and stuff. There's probably a lot of stuff under there.
Yeah. When I was looking at the Cheers building, the actual where they have Cheers, the original Cheers building, the grates on the side, they go way down, like 8 levels.
What?
Yeah, like I could see it. Like it was at least 4 or 5 levels. Like
wow.
you could see all. You could make out old doorways, and some of them look bricked off to windows as it went down. But I couldn't really. I was trying to film it, but all the different grades were kind of blocking the camera. But I could see it with my eyes, and I was like, so those are all like different levels, and that shit goes way down, and that's crazy. I mean, yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, you can't have 8 inches per mile squared and have Kansas be 400 miles as flat as fuck. You just can't have both. Not with their how big the circumference is that they say is of their planetoid, right? And if 8 inches per mile squared, you can't have 400 miles of flat. You can't have both at the same time. It's one or the other, and clearly we're not on a ball. So there's that. I mean, for me, that's one of the major proofs that Kansas is so flat.
Yeah, Kansas is flat. Yeah.
But listen, I think we're going to get ready to wrap this up, Ray.
All right. Well, this was fun, and we should do more shows. We should do shows about everything. We should just go nuts. Like, I don't know, we can think of anything. Let's go do
anything.
it. Boom.
I'm up for whatever. Yeah, boom, baby.
Boom, baby. But this was I think this went well.
Absolutely. Everybody make sure you sub and bell Ray, and I do have his channel linked in the show notes below this live stream. Also, if you'd like to support me through Cash App or PayPal, this is my full-time job. This is what I do for a living now. I don't go out in the crazy land anymore and work out there. So all your donations are greatly appreciated. And anything $5 or more, I give out multiple PDFs that it has valuable information in it that you're definitely going to want, especially The Lost Ways. If you haven't received The Lost Ways yet, the book, The Lost Ways, that's an amazing book, and it's printable. So when you get the PDF from me, you can print out the whole thing if you want, or you can print out sections, different recipes and techniques on how to do things. It's a really good book to have.
The PDFs you sent me are really awesome, and I'm going to print them out, and I'm really going to use them, and it's going to be good to have a piece of paper to hand these people. It's almost like, look.
Or even that laminated one. Get one for you and your girlfriend, and you just both wear them and stuff. Anybody's got anything to say, just be like,
I'm going to be like, look, this is a civil rights audit, and you're being served, motherfucker. Here you go, bitch.
You know what I like to say? I'm like, are you discriminating against me? Are we going to have a problem here? Should I call the cops because you're discriminating against me? And I'm pretty sure that's illegal.
And you know what? There's another one when you say it's not a law, right? And then they're like, well, it's a company policy, right? Oh. And I always go, well, I don't work for your company, so I don't have to follow your policy. You know what I mean? I'm a customer.
Earlier, you were talking about how they announced that stuff over the loudspeaker. It's a federal law. You know, if you don't have your mask on, you're going to get fined $1 million or whatever the hell they say, $1,000, right?
Yeah, they don't do it.
This girl come to my house recently. It's a girlfriend of somebody that we know, right? I've never met her before. And we got to talking about the airport because she's actually from Philly, but like Lancaster, outside of Philly. And I'm from Philly, and I'm pretty outspoken, and I guess you might consider me like a tough cookie or whatever. I don't take any shit. And she's talking about the Atlanta airport, and I'm like, yeah, God, I can't stand Atlanta airport and all this crap with their, face diapers and stuff. She's like, oh yeah, you got to wear them in there. They got it on the loudspeaker. And I look at her, and I'm like, I've never worn one. She's like, oh, well, you have to now. I'm like, I was just there in September. I said, I've been there I don't know how many times, picking my mom up or taking off from there, going traveling and stuff. And I never wear one. I hear that announcement all the time. I just walk right in. And she's like, oh no, you gotta. And I'm thinking to myself, like, you're a pussy. Basically.
They
like whatever. I never wear one, and I never will.
they're telling. This is what they're telling you to do. We want you to be healthy, but just cover your face with something. Spray your hands with sanitizer.
No, they want you to cover your face all day long, every day, and breathe in bacteria. But they want you to be healthy. But that makes you unhealthy. It's the complete opposite. And then this hand sanitizer crap, there's benzene and all other kind of crap into it. Where does it go when it just disappears off your hand? You want to know where it goes, guys? It absorbs into your fucking skin. Look what benzene does to you.
And everything that they're saying to do is bad for you, I would say. But
absolutely, 100%. From the boom baby to this to everything else, it's all bad for you. Even the social distancing stuff that they were promoting early on in this everywhere, that has a traumatic effect on people's spirit. We connect with each other through the breath of our mouth. Our spirit is in our breath, and they tried to separate that.
The babies need to see your facial expression. That's important when you have young kids, that they see the mothers smile and you smile at the kids and the parents. That's what
And I still say shame on those women. Shame on all those mothers out there who are doing this to their children and having children in these. First off, if I had a baby today, I wouldn't even go to a hospital. There's that, okay? I would take care of that shit at home, get everything set up, know what's going on, and only call them if there was an absolute emergency that needed to be taken care of. Other than that, I'd have an off-the-book baby, okay? You're not having a birth certificate. You're not having a Social Security card. You're not having any damn boom baby shots in your arm, nothing. But yeah, these women in these hospitals, putting them on, holding their whatever, probably can't even hold them. They probably have to watch the nurse across the room hold it through a glass or something like that. It's ridiculous. It's traumatic. And these are the first impressions that babies are having into this world of, this total disconnect that's already being like bred into them the first day. It's disgusting.
Well, it's like this, right? I don't know. I don't know. I was gonna say it, but I was thinking about how I was gonna say what I was gonna say.
Right.
I lost it. I don't want to. I gave up. I digress. It's Richie from Boston, and I digress.
Subscribe or don't. I don't care.
Like, share, subscribe, or don't.
Quantum Bear says I'm a cougar. Thank you. I don't know. Should I say thank you to that? Anyway, my birthday's coming up, Ray. Maybe
happy birthday.
We'll do a birthday show. January 28th. I'm Aquarius, the water bearer, the bringer of knowledge.
What's the date today? There's still time. There's still time before that, right?
There's still time, yeah. Today's only the 18th. I got 10 more days.
I stopped keeping track of time because I feel like it. But now I'll remember the 28th, right?
Yeah. Guess how old I'm going to be.
24.
All right, I'll give you one more guess. We know that one's not right.
All right.
I want to get in the chat. Guess how old I'm going to be. Put some numbers in the chat. See if you guys can guess. Quantum Bear says 33. What are you going to say? What are you going to say, Ray?
I don't know, maybe 45.
My son's 32 years old, Chainsaw.
So you had your kid really young.
Yeah, somebody said that to me one time. They're like, "Would you have a kid when you were 10?" I was like, "Fuck you." Are you kidding me? Anyway, you're close, David. 53 is very, very close. You actually went over. We got a 51 here. 42. I'm going to be 52, so it's actually the new 25.
That's crazy because I feel like I remember your birthday last year. Like I remember being on a stream or something, like one of your streams when it was around your birthday, being in the chat.
Maybe, yeah. I did do a 50th birthday party when I turned.
It went by quick. Yeah. When was that? 2 years ago?
Yeah, 2 years ago.
Wow. So I've been watching Jen for a long time. Yeah, no.
I've been on YouTube putting up videos since 2016.
I've been involved. I've been involved for a long time.
I put some stuff up before then, but it wasn't like hardcore focusing on my channel and stuff. And I got to redo my video that really took off and put me on the map, which was giant Nephilim super soldier in our military video. That thing went viral. It went up 10,000 views an hour. I watched it.
So there's videos that you've lost that you just can't find anymore.
Yeah, I thought I
No
had
matter
that
what.
one saved too, and I can't really find it in any of my stuff. So, but I can redo it. As a matter of fact, it was one of my worst videos I ever made. I didn't have screen share. I was using my camera to video the screen, and I couldn't really
So you should just redo
articulate
it.
what I was trying to explain correctly. But most people got it and they saw it. There was like it was kind of split down the middle. A lot of people were like, yeah, that's totally a fucking giant. And other people were like, oh, they're just further up in the picture and stuff. But it was good enough for Above Top Secret to pick it up. God Rules picked it up. I think 135 News or some before it's news, when that used to be around, they picked it up. So it went up on a lot of stuff because back then the giant stuff and all that stuff was really big back then.
How many views is viral? How much is that?
Well, the last time I saw that video up on YouTube, it had almost 400,000 views. But what happened was it was out for a while and nothing was going on with it really because I didn't really have any subscribers. And then somebody somewhere along the line shared my video to somebody, and it just went off. As a matter of fact, I got a phone call saying, or it was a text message. Somebody's like, I just saw your video on God Rules channel. And somebody else just said they saw it on Above Top Secret. And I'm like, what? So I go and I check my video. I watch the God Rules video and he's like, this lady Jen's talking about this giant. I'm like, oh my God, he's talking about me.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this is when I'm still really new to YouTube and I never expected anything like this to happen. Next thing I know, it goes up like to 2,000 views. And then it's like 5,000 views. And then it's 10,000 views. I call my husband. I'm like, it's a 10,000 views. He's like, no, it's not. It's a 12,000 views. I call him back a half an hour later. It's a 15,000 views. It was just going crazy. And,
you should do if you could find that clip again, like not even if it's your video, if you could find the clip somewhere, you should just do a live stream where you just go over it and then it'll at least be on a stream.
Well, the good thing is I still have all the pictures saved, the screenshots that I was using. The only thing I don't think I'll be able to find, I'd really have to dig for it, is the Ferguson riots where the scene took place in an AutoZone parking lot. And a lot of people like to say, well, there's a grade in the parking lot. The parking lot's not level. It goes down like this. But you can see from where the guys are standing around the car, and even the guy that's next to the said giant that's with him, are all relatively the same size. Whether they're back a little further or up a little further, they're all relatively the same size. And then you got Giganto guy over here.
Yeah,
and then you could see that the one guy's foot was up on the curb of the thing. So you could tell that he was right at the curb and the other guy was just right. This guy is so big. I mean, he's like literally twice the size of a normal 5'10", 5'11" person. So if you double that, he had to be like over 10 feet tall, which means he had a larger gun. He looked like he had a backpack on his leg. Instead of having a little thing that they strapped to their leg, it looked like a full-on backpack is how big it was.
Like a friggin', you could
it
carry
was massive.
Like you could carry a foot, like a tent.
He looked like he
carrying a tent on his leg.
He looked like he couldn't even fit in the car that they were all looking in and checking out. There was this little El Camino sitting next to in the AutoZone parking lot, but off to the side, and they're all around it. And then you see him, and you look at the car, and you're like, "There's no way he would even fit in that car."
Yeah, that's a crazy video. I seen some shit about the giants and the giant skulls and the giant mounds everywhere and the giant bones and how the they're covering it up. The Smithsonian destroyed all the giant bones.
I heard what they did with a lot of them was they dumped them in the ocean.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's true or not, but I mean that's what I heard.
We probably don't have them. We can't get to the bottom of the ocean.
Well, I think I'm definitely going to do on my next live stream or I'll do a recording maybe. I'm going to bring up all those pictures because I think with the pictures alone, I even have an aerial view, a helicopter view the next day after the fires, capturing a picture of the parking lot. The AutoZone's kind of burnt down. The car's right there. You can see where the light pole is and the curb. You can see the whole parking lot that way. I had some really good pictures. I did a lot of research on this video. And it was one of my first major things because I remember seeing the video, the Ferguson video, and I kept saying to my husband, I said, come here, look at this. I said, I rewound it and I played it over and I rewound it and I played it over. I'm like, what is this guy? What is he doing? Why is he so big? And my husband's like, yeah, he's a big fucking dude. And I'm like, wait a minute. Why isn't anybody talking about this? And what is he doing there? Why would they have a fucking huge giant soldier in the middle of this Ferguson stuff?
Yeah,
And then I heard,
it's nuts. Why would they?
I heard that they were using some of these giant soldiers over in like Iraq and stuff over on the other side of the plane, fighting some of these, that some of the armies over there were like, well, how are we supposed to fight against this? You know, you got an army of giants and we're just regular sized people over here.
Yeah, I heard stories of giants in the caves in like Afghanistan, people talking about it. Red-head giants. You know,
yeah, I remember that.
In Afghanistan, there's a few.
This guy had to be at least 10 to 12 feet tall. So he would be like what we would consider, like, say, a Tatarian would be.
Like the size of the doorways. Like,
yes.
Like the right size to fit the doorways that we see.
Right,
that
and the handle's right there. You know, these doors, the handle, like for us, it would be like right here on me, if the door handle. It's like, why would a door handle be that big? And why do you have a 20-foot high door? Oh, because a 12-foot person's going through it.
Yeah. It's and then today I had doors right beside me. One was like this tall, and then the one right next to it was like up to here. And there was like another one next to it that was the same size as the other one. And on the other side there was one that was like down to here. And I was standing next to them and I was like, look, this door is right here. And this one right next to it is this tall. Like, how are you gonna fit in there? It was a front door for someone's house.
Weird.
Yeah, there's a lot of crazy shit over there. That neighborhood's all jimble jambled together. Like every house, like some of them are higher than the other ones. They're all right next to each other, jammed real packed. I noticed this is what they do with the city, right? The way they design it is like they make the streets are real narrow. So when you're walking down, you can't really look up the side of the building. It's hard to get a good vantage point. And it's like they design it like that on purpose, so you don't even see what's going on the upper level, like on the buildings. Like you don't even look up. Most people, you know, I'm looking up, and the whole place, the way they design it is so we can't see what's going on. They put bushes in front of the grates, so we can't.
You know, now that I've started looking at buildings more and paying attention to all these things on them and everything, I've seen so much stuff that I would have never otherwise just walked by. Even when we were in Spartanburg, some of the buildings we were coming up on, me, Stealing Fan Man, Shelby, Young Love, and Steve, and all. It was just like incredible. Some of the stuff, like the things that you were finding, them wooden. I mean, there's brick buildings with the round, like inlaid plaques.
Cartouche.
Yeah, all that stuff.
It's called the cartouche. That's what Stuff Beagle told me. I didn't know what it was called either. The round thing that almost looks like a magic mirror with the wreath around it, right? Yeah, that's called the cartouche, Jen, right? And I seen one today on my stream at Harvard that said like 18 something, but it was underneath. But the cartouche was chipped off, right?
Oh, really?
And it was a trip because the other day Beagle said those things used to say, like, I do Skypes with Beagle at night, and he shows me all kinds of cool shit, like one-on-one. Like,
oh, yeah.
It's cool. And it's so fun. And I stay up with him until like 2, 3 in the morning. We just talk, and it's cool. And he shows me all kinds of cool shit. But he was showing me that those cartouches had something. They all had something on them, and it's missing. They took it off. Most of them are just blank, or you notice they're chipped off or they're damaged. And then today I seen one that was chipped off and fucked up and damaged, and I was like, he's right. It's damaged. You know what I mean? So everything he's been telling me checks out.
When the new empire comes in and takes over, you know, the people who piggyback the reset, just like when in other countries, when an invading army comes in, they take down all the old stuff. They take down all the old statues. Oh, wait, didn't they just do that 2 summers ago? Start ripping down statues and stuff, right?
That's what I wanted to say.
They deface whatever monuments are up, whatever plaques are up. They did it in Egypt. Yeah. They did it all across the plane, and they're doing it here. Well, so that shows you guys that we've been taken over, and there's a whole new thing running the show here. In case you haven't noticed, Chimerica all day long.
It's crazy.
All right.
And this shit, if anybody's like doubting if this that shit's the Mudflood shit is true. When I was first looking at it, I wasn't sure about it. It's fucking true.
the one building Steve and I went into when we were in Spartanburg, the door was huge, and then we tried the door and it was open. There was people in there setting up for a party later on that night, and it was this big hall type of thing. It was a brick building. I think it was a yellow brick, or it might have been painted yellow. I'm not sure on that one, but we asked her how far it goes down, and she said it went down a whole nother 2 floors, and these floors were massive. And it was like, but out front, it just looked like it was just that first level, but it went down 2 more that she knew of. It's just, they're everywhere, guys. There's a lot. You can find it all over in all kinds.
Oh, and this is what I was thinking, Jen, right? This might, I don't know. This is just a thought I had. So, all right. So, you know, the building, you know how you look at like meltification, melted castles, and all the buildings you look at are melted, right? All melted castles that really were castles that got melted. I've seen videos where you've gone inside them, yourself, right? People have brought you inside them, and you've went in boots on the ground into a melted friggin' castle, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm afraid I wouldn't go into a cave like that. I was like, Jen's brave. Now, like, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't go into a fucking cave that you went into. That was a real fucking cave. But inside there was bricks in the walls. There was bricks. There was brick staircases and shit, and brick archways and all kinds of shit. You could see there was bricks in the wall and melted ones too, and she was proving it. So I believe that there's, but you know how the buildings I look at are flooded, and they seem like they're more intact and not as melted.
Right.
I think it was 2 different resets. I think the ones you look at are from like one where it got really melted.
Okay, so this is what I've been surmising lately. I've rethought my reset theory. Okay, it's a working theory. I revise as I come along, new information and stuff, get a better perspective on how these puzzle pieces fit. Once I realize that there is a pole shift that takes place with Polaris and the Black Sun, the inner sun, the flip side of our reality, sometimes when there is this pole shift, and it is cyclical, it happens about every 300 to 360 years. So if you go back 360 years from where we're at now, it's going to put you right into the 1600s. And before that, there was one before that as well. You go back another 360 years. Now, each time it's not the same. Sometimes we come out okay, not too muffed up, but some areas get hit here and there. Other times, it's complete meltdown. So it just depends on the severity of the pole shift itself and how long it takes things to settle down afterwards. So it doesn't just happen and then it's over. There's a period where it's starting, where it peaks out, and then it has to settle down again. So that it's a span of time in there. But it's definitely a cyclical thing. And I do agree with you that we're seeing different levels of reset damage, different resets. Nonetheless, resets all, I mean, it's X Factor in any way you slice it. I'm just saying now that I think there was more than one X Factor event. And each one did different levels of damage. Now, I'm not going to sit here and try to pick apart when Petra was X Factored, when this was I don't have proof of that. I can only surmise different things and try to figure it out. But I can tell you one thing, shit's melted. And that's a fact. All right, Ray. I'm not sure if you had to go or there you are.
No, I'm back. I just had to move my room.
Okay.
I was just unscrewing my situation a little bit because they needed that room. So I already knew they were going to need the room. So I kind of just set it up.
Oh, it's all good. I'm actually going to get ready to get out of here. I got to go pick my husband up soon. Thank you again for doing a show with me tonight.
This was so much fun. We've been going for almost 3.5 hours, 3.25.
Yep.
So this was great, and I love you, Jen. This is so awesome. I love being on your channel.
Hi,
and
Jen. Hi, how are you?
She said good night. So
good night.
she's taking the kids to bed, and things are quieting down here. But I usually go on like Hugh TV late night. We've been having a ball over there. The other night I had so much fun on Hugh TV. Can I just say 2 more things before I go? 2 real quick. I had so much fun on Hugh TV. I was laughing my ass off, right? So hard that I was in tears. I was crying, and I seen myself on the camera crying, right? So I don't know. I just have fun over there. It's just a place that I unwind at night. But also I went out to a Flat Earth meetup the other night with Faye and Joe and Francis Sage. I met Francis Sage. I sat
Okay.
I sat right across from Francis Sage the whole
That's
time.
awesome.
I broke bread with Francis Sage. He drove all the way up from New Jersey. You know, he drove like friggin' 5 hours to just come and sit and eat with us for like an hour. You know, a couple hours.
Yeah, that's really cool.
And then there was 2 other guys that were flat earthers that showed up, where I don't really know honestly where they came from, and they seemed cool. And we were talking about a lot of stuff. They have kids, and we just had a lot of good conversations. And everybody knew everybody else knew everybody. And you know what, Jen? It was a trip because when I first walked up, like I've seen Francis Sage on a lot of different things, but like, and I've talked to him, I've known him. Like I talked to him in the chat because I know his name. And when I walked up, he recognized me first from YouTube because I've never seen him before in real life. And then he was like, "Hey, what's up?" You know. And it was the first time. It was the first time anybody ever recognized me in public from YouTube. You know that feeling?
Cool. Yeah, I know that feeling. It's a really cool feeling too.
It really was cool. I was like, wow, I'm actually making a difference. People know me, you know? Like now I gotta be more careful about what I say. I can't go popping off the top of my jaw like boom, baby. snap it off the crack a lack and snap it off the top of my jaw like a snap ahead. You know what I mean?
Just keeping it real. Oh my gosh.
Boom, baby. I love the shirt.
Baby.
Now it's funny because you that was like 2 nights ago when someone said you should get that done, and then it's already you're fast. You got it done. That was a good idea.
There's a place around here that I found. I got this shirt made up and bought the shirt there too. $18 out the door, same day. I was like, boom, baby. I'm wearing this on my shirt.
I think you're doing the right thing because someone else told me that Teespring sucks. That they that their shirts shrink and their shit is garbage.
This is really soft and it's not thick and that rough material. It's really soft and it's kind of on the thin side a little bit, which is good for me because I have hot flashes. This is a charcoal grayish black, and then their black t-shirts are like really, really black, which is the way I like the black t-shirts to be. So the letters really pop on it and stuff.
I try to go 100% cotton on everything, like if I can. But
I don't know what this is. If it's probably is cotton. It feels like cotton.
I used to work at Macy's and with the towels in the towel department. They used to pay me the full towels in a suit. I used to have to pay more for my dry cleaning bill, Jen, than I got paid in my check, and eating lunch at the mall. Eating lunch at the mall, like California Pizza Kitchen, was like $20 to have lunch every day. That's the only thing they had that was any good. Like, I don't know, everything else was expensive too. That was like the best thing. You could go and sit somewhere on your break. It was like $20 for a pizza, dude. Like a little one. I miss
cheesesteaks. Philly has good cheesesteaks. I have a few spots there that I really like, and I could really go for a cheesesteak right now.
There's a Philly cheesesteak place here, but the thing is, one of my friends from Philly actually told me that the real Philly cheesesteak is made with Cheese Whiz. So if you go someplace and they're telling you Philly cheesesteak and it's not made with the Cheese Whiz, the spray cheese, it's not real Philly cheesesteak. Here they don't do it with the Cheese Whiz.
Yeah, I like it. I personally like it with the white American cheese on it. Now you got to put the cheese on the inside, and then you put the meat in so it melts. Or they can put it on it and it melts too. But the way I make it, it's I used to make cheesesteaks back in the day.
There's a place down here that they just make all these different ones.
You have to have Amoroso's rolls with it too, so that the rolls are key.
There's one that I get. It's like a bacon jalapeno cheesesteak. It's good. It's got like nacho cheese. I don't know. I don't think it has nacho cheese on it, but it's good. It's good.
I used to order my cheesesteak when I'd order it from this place called Pizza Shop in my neighborhood. I would get the large cheesesteak with extra cheese, salt, pepper, and ketchup. That's what I used to eat all the time.
Yeah, we had.
I never got fat from it either. Just saying, guys. I don't know if it's something in my biology or what, but I've never been an overweight kind of person or ever had weight issues. So
you're Italian, right? You're Italian.
Yeah,
but we eat. The Italians eat.
We eat and we work it off too, baby.
Boom, baby.
Sexercising's good.
Yeah.
That's good exercise.
Hashtag boom, baby.
Yeah. Hashtag sexercise. All right, guys. Well, we're gonna get ready to go. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out with us. We still got 46 people here. I'm gonna take us out with "Mama Raised a Truth Seeker." Let me get this ready to go here. Thank you again, Ray. I love you.
I love you too, Jen. This was a good stream. We had fun. We went for a long time. This was very long. This was good. We went for a very long stream this time.
Yeah, we did. All right, guys. We're out of here, and let it not be said that Ray stood by and did nothing. Boom, baby. I love you.
Every day making way